What is up, everyone, and welcome to the Random Encounter Podcast, episode 126. I'm your host, James, and I'm joined by the Dress Fear Master, the Dominant himself, Bryant,
Live from Prospero.
the ultimate fanboy himself, Phaneckswhy,
So, what's up? I don't know about Ultimate.
and of course, the great ace attorney, Ash Destroyum.
Live from Kieferberg Village.
I guess I should say I'm live from, I don't know. I had something also, I had thought about it earlier, and I completely forgot. I forgot.
Hey, that's
I
my
know.
bit.
I
What's
gotta,
up?
I gotta make sure. I gotta make
That's
sure
my
I
bit.
pronounce that name
Yeah,
right.
it is.
Honestly,
We're all gonna just start saying stuff. We're all gonna say live from somewhere. Like, I guess, fan, would you say you're live from Lost Woods?
oh, I got it right. Jesus, thank God. All right.
Yeah, Lost Woods back there. Anyways, we are gonna talk about a couple things today. Some more Nintendo Switch stuff that was talked about this past week since the last podcast, which has only been about 4 or 5 days, so not a lot of stuff. And some little bit of small news, but before we get into that, as always, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Follow if you are over on Twitch, and we're actually gonna go ahead and just get started with some of the smaller news. Marathon gameplay is being revealed Saturday, April 12th. Is anybody here excited for Marathon? Because me personally, I'm just kind of like I'll watch it to see what it's about, but I don't care.
do,
That's just
do you
me.
mind explaining to me what that is exactly? I haven't about that.
So Marathon
Bungie's
was
new
a
shooter.
game that came out by Bungie, which I believe was like on Apple on
It's
Max.
Pre-Halo.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So yeah, it came out years ago on Max, and I assume PCs probably. But they are. It's not really a remake. I don't even know if you want to call it a reimagining, but it's a new Marathon game. So they are going to
Okay.
show finally gameplay of Marathon, and yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that develops. Like I said, I don't care. Is anybody here excited for it? Because I'm gonna watch it and look forward to it. I guess maybe because I don't really know enough, I can't really get excited about it.
Well, I mean, if what fan said is pre-Halo, I guess any Halo fan will probably be a fan of this announcement. I'm not really a Halo fan myself, if anything. It's just not for me. I think I will probably know one friend of mine that will be probably all gung ho about this too. So it all just really depends on the person.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Bryant fan, don't care.
After what you call it?
Infinite.
No, the
Oh.
failure Concord. After Concord failed on PlayStation, I just am kind of dubious over the health of these kinds of games. Like these, I'm pretty sure. Does it have a campaign? I think it's online only. I think it's online multiplayer only, isn't it?
Let's find out. I thought so
Oh.
too.
Whoa! I was under the impression that this game was going to be like on Xbox only or something like that.
No. Let's see.
Yeah, I thought I first thought it was Xbox only because fans said it was pre-Halo, so I'm like, okay, probably a Xbox
No, it's not
game or
Xbox.
something.
Well, remember, Bungie's owned by PlayStation, so it definitely wouldn't be Xbox only.
Oh, I didn't even know who was even the developer of the game, so I didn't even know Bungie was
Yeah.
doing it. That makes sense.
Yeah, Bungie made Halo, so that's why I was like, that's why I say pre-Halo, because it's like
Okay,
their precursor.
yeah, that makes sense.
I'm looking into it to see if it's online only. I assume so. Because there was an article saying
Yeah, I think
that,
it's like
you
Rainbow
won't have
Six,
to
isn't
log
it?
into.
Like it's like Extraction.
Yeah, that or like the
Marathon
Vault.
is a
or not
team-based
Vault.
extraction shooter, and the first completely new
Yeah.
project from Bungie. Yeah.
I mean, Bungie has cachet behind the name with Destiny 2, so they're automatically going to get a lot of those Destiny players to check it out. I'm sure it's not like Concord where it was relatively unknown, and I think Bungie has some power behind their name, so maybe they have a bit more success regardless of the product. But it's just, I still think that these shooters, these online shooters that are coming out, that's all it is. I think that they're Sony is kind of chasing the puck right now as opposed to going to where the puck's going. It's kind of like trying to go where the puck is, and it's just, I feel like these games just aren't as exciting as they were maybe like 7 years ago. Like everybody wants to be the next what you call it, Fortnite or
Yeah.
whatever. And I just
Mhm.
don't. I don't know. Maybe it'll be crazy successful, but I'm dubious right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree with that.
I
Yeah, I
think
wonder how much what you could do to make extraction shooters more than what they already are now.
Yeah, it's just it's hard to innovate off of that genre for the most part. I mean, yeah, you can say, hey, you can play in third person and do have a couple of perks with it, but I'm pretty sure I've seen other games do the same thing. I think the first game that comes to mind is probably Helldivers was that, and then there's this other game. Keep forgetting the name of it. This one got like mixed reaction from it.
Mhm.
What is it? It'll come to me later on, but I think I know what game it is, and I had it on my Steam library because I was curious about it, but later on I just uninstalled it because I was there for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a PC game.
PC.
It was on
also
everything.
It was on everything. PC, PlayStation. What was
Was it
that
free to
game?
play?
Free to play, yeah.
And it was like a first person shooter.
Not first person, third person.
Third person shooter.
Mm.
Yeah, and you get to use different characters and stuff.
Is it still going on or did it fail?
I think it's called The Descendant. I think.
The first Descendant, are you thinking of?
First Descendant. Yeah, the first Descendant. Yeah.
Oh,
that
yeah,
one,
that was like
that's
kind
still
of the.
available.
Yeah, that one right there. I think that game got mixed reactions, of course, and I think they're still going, if anything. But I think that's the most thing you can do to be different, I guess, by just adding different characters with different abilities. I guess I don't know.
Well, I mean, they're based on the trailer. It looks like like you're a robot. So I wonder if they're gonna have parts that can swap out and stuff like that.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Because that adds customization to your character more than just buying skin or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
That would be interesting. Like if certain parts gives you a certain stat boost.
Mm-hmm.
Like whether you run faster, more stamina, slide farther. Who knows?
I mean, for me, I'm just tired of multiplayer shooters. Like, give me some Crystal Chronicles type games, because we don't have many of those. Every time we try to look for group stream games, it's Crystal Chronicles was fun, and then I was trying to look for games like Crystal Chronicles, and there's none. Like, why don't we get more games like that? I think if Crystal Chronicles remastered had actually did a good job of kind of recreating what they had going on with the GameCube version, it would have done a lot better versus having to hop out of each level or each room party, I guess, after each level and then hop back in. It was just too cumbersome. But I guess we'll wait and see. I do agree with Brian that when it comes to Sony and any type of online live service game, is one of those things you gotta kind of be kind of, I don't know. I they are going where like you said, the puck was. It's kind of hard to dethrone Fortnite, but I do feel that as I hate using this word, but kind of as gaming evolves, right? I was gonna say as we evolve, but as gaming evolves, people just kind of get different interests, right? Um, for a while, a lot of people didn't like story-based games, and then now they're more popular than ever because people are tired of just everything being multiplayer and they want to have a story-based game. So we'll see how that goes on.
That I didn't know. That's interesting.
Yeah. So, you get a lot of people coming in, and I say story based, but you got Elden Rings, they're very popular. Of course, you had your Red Dead Redemption 2s, and so
Baldur's
forth.
Gate.
Baldur's Gate, right? Yeah.
No, I
So,
was talking about when you were saying back then people didn't like story based games
yeah.
or something like that.
360 era, yeah. Story based games were
The whole
were-
that whole era. Damn, I must have been not be paying attention to people because I was enjoying everything. I don't know.
yeah, that era was a lot of negativity against just those type of games, especially
I
Japanese
just look at the
RPGs.
look at the
Crazy.
games that won Game of the Year.
Call
a
of
lot
Duty.
of them were Call of Duty, Call
Call
of
of
Duty,
Call
Call
of
of Duty.
Duty,
Even Metroid Prime
Overwatch.
2 had a multiplayer mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
Ah.
everything was multiplayer centric, And granted, online was new, so Halo popularized.
Yeah, it was a
especially because of
novelty.
Halo too. Yeah, it was that, if you were on PlayStation, you were playing like SOCOM, which
Yeah, I
was
was playing
very
Killzone.
popular. Yeah, Killzone, another
Warhawk.
one.
I'm just,
What was that?
if that's the case, I'm kind of glad that we're in a balance to where there's a good amount of like story based games and a good
Mhm.
amount of multiplayer games you can play. So
Yeah.
I'm glad there's no imbalance within that.
Yeah, as of now.
As of now,
Yeah.
hopefully stays that way.
Yeah, hopefully.
I don't know if you guys saw, but a
Mhm.
little bit of a hot off the presses news. eSWAT, City Under Siege, Streets of Rage, and Super Thunderblade are all added to the Switch Online Genesis channel. So
Oh, that's
you're into
cool.
those
That's
games,
amazing.
I
check
see
them
that.
out.
Streets of Rage 1.
Yeah.
About time. I was because Streets of Rage 2 was already on there. I was like, man, like when is Streets of Rage 1? Like I have more nostalgia for 1 because the music is amazing. I just like, and every time I play it, it's almost like I'm traveling back in time to like 1991 or whenever it was that I played it. Uh, but I really loved Streets of Rage 1. The music amazing, everything about it's amazing. I bought it. I remember when the Wii eShop had it, I bought it there, and anytime it comes available, I buy it. So very happy that that's in there. It's almost it's like, okay, it goes back to what I've said before. Every time I get a game or start emulating it, it comes out officially in a shape or form. So I'll continue doing that. So Calibur 2 is a great example. I was playing that a lot, and then we're getting it on GameCube Online. Streets of Rage 1 is
We're
one.
playing Eternal Darkness.
I will, yeah. I know you've been wanting me to play that. I'm gonna have to do that. I will play it into existence again.
Damn, I forgot about Eternal Darkness. That's on the GameCube, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'll try to grab some time to play it because right now I just got done with Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, which thank God I'm done. I am done. That's the last RPG I'm going to be touching for a while, and I'm just rog dogging a whole bunch of like short story based games. Which Goody Two Shoes is one of those games I'm playing right.
Last
like
RPG.
30
We're about to talk about another RPG later on that you have to get.
Yeah, I will, but I'm not going to be touching that for a good while because I'm trying to go through all my backlog that is not RPGs right. So,
Are you gonna play the Elden Ring DLC?
Nightfall or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
it's a different.
That's separate,
technically.
so it's not really really
Yeah.
required for me to
okay.
play that. It's multiplayer, so I mean, if you guys want to get it,
yeah.
I'm going to buy it, and why not? It's not a game that is meant to be completed, if that makes sense. So I'm not worried too much about it.
Yeah, it'll be fun to try out. Like I definitely gonna pick it up, and it'll be a nice group stream. Again, talking about games like Crystal Chronicles. While it's not like Crystal Chronicles, it's a different type of multiplayer game that I definitely am more excited for. Versus what's
but what's the RPG that you're talking about?
We'll get into it in a little bit.
Okay, sure. All right.
Xbox Games Showcase was announced for June 8th, followed by an Outer Worlds 2 deep dive. I'm actually excited for this because I think Xbox has done pretty decent in their summer like showcases. We had Persona 3 Reload announced. Well, not last year, but the year before that, right? Yeah, the year before that. So what if Persona 4 Reload is announced?
I would lose my shit.
I'm glad you brought that up because I remember Persona 3 Reload being first showcase at the Xbox Showcase, so that'd be cool to see. That'd be really awesome. Listen, I'm just expecting it to release any time by now because they know we want it, so it's just throw us a bone atlas, like give us a trailer or something.
Have you played through 4, Ash?
Huh?
Have you played through Persona 4?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
that.
Yeah.
The soundtrack is good. Yeah, I played it. Yeah.
I'm the only one that hasn't played any of the Persona games.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for all of the new releases so I can try and play them because all you guys have said they have quality of life improvements. So
oh yeah,
my biggest worry is that because I play both vanilla vanilla Persona 4 and Persona 4 Golden, and the fun thing with that is that I got Persona 4 Golden on a decent price with a GameStop coupon for $25, and for a while I wanted to get a Vita, but what I didn't realize is that a PlayStation TV is also a Vita, but a console Vita. So I wound up buying that for like $50, and but why not playing off of that, which was a great experience. But my biggest concern is that when it comes to Persona 4 Reload coming out, I'm just hoping they add the content from Persona 4 Golden instead of the vanilla Persona 4, because there's practically a huge difference between content at that point, which Oof,
Yeah, I was gonna
let's
say,
see what
do you
happens.
feel that Golden has more content story based part of the
Yes,
main story than like Fez or Portable did, right? Because like Portable
I
had the female pro tag, and then
yeah
Fez had the after I forgot what it's called, the like epilogue, right? But
yeah
that came
the
out as DLC
the
already
yeah the answer
for
yeah.
Reload.
So
Yeah.
I will say this much is that when you buy Persona 4 Golden,
Hmm.
right, you can actually play it like Persona 4 Vanilla in a way because
Hmm.
it gives you the option, just like in Persona 5, to do social links at a certain level to unlock like the part 2 of the story, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And with that being said, I feel like Persona 4 Golden had definitely had way more content compared to even Portable and
Hmm.
Fez. But I'm just hoping that because the way they put added the content from Golden, like the way they added the content in Golden, it's
Hmm.
kind of impossible for them to just take that out in the new version and say, hey, we got this new stuff in here, pay 20 more, pay us 35 more bucks for it,
Yeah.
which legit, I never even bought the Igus DLC for Persona 3 Reload because I feel like that was just a straight up ripoff. And if you don't believe me, then look at the reviews on Steam because it wasn't a good marketing move whatsoever.
Yeah.
If anything, I would say like it's valued at $15
You talking about the
at
answer?
the yeah, the answer. Yeah, because the Igus DLC was separate
I haven't
for
played
Persona
through
3
it yet.
Reload. Oh, I'm not going to tell you
I
what
haven't played it
happens.
yet. Okay.
Yeah, don't worry. I ain't going to tell you what happens, but like that part of the game should have been already included in Persona 3 Reload because that already happened with Fez already.
Yeah.
Right? Fez included that whole thing. And Portable, I have to like replay that. I don't know if the answer isn't in there or not, which
It's
I mean, I'm
not.
pretty sure it is. It's
not.
not. Yeah. See with that's a bit more separate. With Portable, that's mainly for veterans that want to get a new like perspective from a different gender and with different social links because they couldn't really add everyone in there because how short the game is compared to other games.
Mhm.
But let me start from there. I'm just hoping that Persona 4 Reload has Persona 4 Golden content, and that's
Yeah, I want to say that I think his name is Fez. Um he does like he tweets a lot about like Persona stuff, and I think it was him that mentioned maybe about a month back that something that looks to be registered and it looked like it was connected to like Persona 4, um like a Persona 4 game basically. So
yeah.
it's gonna be interesting to see where it goes with Persona 4.
I bet it won't be Reload though, because 3 is used guns. It'll be something else. I bet.
Maybe retune for the TV. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was thinking the
I like that.
glasses. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say Persona 4 LASIK.
Reframed.
Reframed. Yeah.
I don't know.
That would
Who
work.
knows?
Reframe sounds better than LASIK. Yeah, Oh man, I like 4. Like everything about 4 is great. The music, it's different. What I like about Persona too is like every Persona game since 3 at least. Because I don't really know much of 1 and 2, but 3 had its own set of style. There was more like a rap / like
It was hip hop,
like
and then
pop,
4 was J-pop.
J-pop, J-rock, right? And then 5 is
5 is
more
jazz.
jazzy / lo-fi.
And yeah, jazz and some rock in there too.
Mhm. Yeah, but not like I don't know. I like Persona 4 soundtrack. I think the most. It could be
I
nostalgia, but I really like
It's very
trying to
good.
make history. I'll face myself. I think it's an amazing boss battle theme. Uh, what's the other one? Heartbeat. Was it Heartbeat or
Heartbeat,
Yeah.
heartbeat.
Yeah.
Listen. All soundtracks are great. It's just I don't know. For me, I think my personal favorite it probably has to be Persona 3. Persona 3 soundtrack. I really like that a lot. And
Yeah, I
a
feel
lot
like
of
there's
a
not
lot
as
of people.
many that I like in 3.
I love majority of them and stuff, especially when you're venturing about port something. I forgot the name of the
Mhm.
area within Persona 3, but it's when the song is called the moon is shining something. The moon is something. And I love that song a lot, whether it's listening from Reload or from the original. It's just my God, that's like it beats Tokyo Daylight from Persona 5. It's just God,
Like,
it's just
Persona 3, the ones that I can think of, and I think 2 of them are exclusive to Reload, was the nighttime theme.
Oh
which is
yeah, yeah.
I
The
love it.
color of your night. The color of your
Yes.
night. Oh god, that
Color of Your
is
Night's
that is
amazing.
that is the best new addition to Persona 3 I ever heard in my life. Like
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And then
They-
the what would you call it?
it's going down now.
Yeah, it's going down now. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
what would you call it? It's
that-
not the chance encounter. It's the
It's like the
like advantage.
preemptive
Strike,
strike. Yeah, the preemptive strike one. Which what's
Yeah.
funny too is that they used that song so much
well, no,
in
not that
TikTok
one.
and
That's
Instagram
the
Reels.
regular.
Oh,
That's
oh,
the,
sorry,
that's
regular
the newest one. I'm
It's
trying
like
to
a
remember the words.
bit of a mixture from Mass Destruction from the beginning, but
Yeah.
it goes into a totally different rhythm,
Mhm.
and like it starts with Lotus Juice rapping in, and everything,
Yeah.
and then that's when the lady comes in and says, "Disturbing the peace, look into my eyes."
Oh, yeah.
yeah. That right there.
Yeah, that
Ooh,
part's awesome. Yeah.
That they were cooking in there, man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Now I
Yeah.
remember that song.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
like those two I can think of. There's I want to say which one is I don't remember the name of that song. The one that's is it like the hotel one?
Oh, it goes to boom. I know what you're talking about.
It has a beat. It's just a beat. I
Yeah,
don't
and
remember
then
what the
Lotus
beat
Juice
is.
is coming in. Listen, I can barely understand what he's saying when he's rapping, of course, but I know what you're talking about. You're at the Love Hotel, right?
There's a there's a remix
Yeah.
in Persona 3 Dancing where I can see through it. What do you say? I can see your movement. Where he says
Yeah.
those words. Yeah. That one's
Exactly.
amazing. But like I like that one, and that's really all I can think of that I really like, honestly, when it comes to Persona 3. Where Persona 4, like I said, I can mention almost all of the tracks that you hear in was it Inaba, right? Inaba
Mhm.
and any of the battle music's great. Maybe not the dungeons themselves. Like a lot of them are for me are forgettable. Like, I can't even think of one right now. But the boss song, of course, is "I'll Face Myself," and then the one where you
That's
fight.
great.
Well, I don't want to say spoilers, but when you fight in Golden, the final boss, that the other variant to that song was amazing too.
I can name like a good six to seven songs I like from Persona 3. So
Mhm.
Iwatore Station is one of them. That's basically when you go back to your basically your house, your
Mhm.
apartment, and that's when that song plays. And typically either Mitsuru or Aki will be like, "Yeah, where you been?" I'm like, love that. It's so I like that. I like the Iwatore Station theme. I like Living with Determination, and that usually plays after a certain information that you know in the game that something's about to go down. Living Determination. I love that song a lot.
Mhm.
I also love all the variations of the Tartarus theme, because as you go up in Tartarus, the music gets more. The music gets a bit more intense and heavenly
Sinister.
as you get more higher and stuff.
Mhm.
So I like all the variations of Tartarus. I like all the school themes. So there was the first one. I forgot the first one, but it's like a I forgot the names of those, but
Mhm.
during the first semester, it's that theme. I love that. And then during the second theme, I think the second theme is way better. It's that one was really good. And then they also have an exam theme that like Persona 4 and 5, and that that one they improved a lot. That's the music I typically use whenever I'm trying to like think hella hard on a complex problem at work.
Yeah.
That one's really good. There's a lot of music I can cite, and some heavy sleepers, especially from Persona 3 Portable. Those are good too. It's mainly Time Goes By, I think, and they're like cutesy ones too. I feel like the songs are more geared towards the female variant, but funny enough, when you play either male or female in the portable version, but both the songs still play for either of them. I feel like it shouldn't be geared towards the female variant. So, but yeah, Persona 3 soundtrack, freaking the bangers. 4 amazing as well. 5, I think 5 has the most music because they have the most spin-offs, if anything. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Strikers has a
5
good
you can,
soundtrack.
yeah, 5 has some bangers. It's just they're all great. They
It's all
can
good.
never miss, you know.
Yeah.
So that's all I gotta say about that
Yeah.
part.
I mean, I think, going back to Streets of Rage where I mentioned that, like Sega themselves has just cooked when it comes to music. I mean, technically Atlas was before, Sega bought Atlas not that long ago, maybe about 10 years ago or so. Which to me is
Yeah.
still not that long ago, but still, like,
Yeah, same
anything
here.
Sega does, like they kind of cook. Sonic music is always amazing. Anything Atlas has usually has some good music. Streets of Rage and so forth. Persona 4, I can see that showing up on the Xbox Game Showcase. Maybe some more of the Gears of War game that they showed off. Hopefully gameplay, and then maybe some new announcements. Who knows what we'll get
You
from
still
there?
need to see Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio too.
Yeah, true. So we might see some
Um,
more Sega announcements on there.
um,
Mhm.
James, a bit of sad news here, but bit of a side thing.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming you played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but the English version, right?
Was it? Oh, Xenoblade Chronicles 2? You said?
2, yeah, English, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I saw that, yeah.
William Roberts, the English voice for Joe Mark passed away. I'm like,
Yeah.
no,
It's
it
such
was
a
great.
it's such a good voice. There was something else he was in that he was known for. I can't remember what it was, but I saw.
Oh yeah, apparently he's part of The Witcher. Apparently,
Yeah, The Witcher. He was
yeah. Vesemir, Vesemir,
yeah, Vesemir, the guy who's with Geralt. I forgot what he is to him. It's been a while since I played The Witcher. Again, I'm not a big Witcher fan, so don't attack me.
They will. Don't worry.
Yeah. But I do remember the beginning, and I do remember Vesemir. He was cool, nonetheless. Yeah. Let's go ahead and talk about that RPG that I was mentioning earlier. Lunar Remastered Collection rather comes out April 18th, so next Friday.
That's
I'm
crazy.
excited for this. Like it's one of those games that again I was re-emulating Lunar 2 because outside of like PS1, there hasn't been another version of Lunar 2. Lunar 1 has been on, of course, Sega. Was it Sega CD or Sega Saturn? Sega Saturn, I believe. No. Which one came first? Yeah, I think it's Saturn. Sega Saturn, PS1, GBA, and PSP. And then, of course, now we have the remaster. So Lunar 1 has been there multiple times, but Lunar 2 has been stuck on the PS1 and, of course, Sega Saturn as well for the longest of time. It has not been re-released. So this is going to be the first time it's re-released in such a long time. They redid the voice acting, and I was watching a more recent trailer of the voice acting. It sounds very similar. The guy who plays what's his name? The main character. Why can't I remember his name?
In what, 2 or 1?
In 2. Yeah, because 1 it's
Is it
Alex.
Kyle?
2, what did you say?
Is it Kyle?
No,
I'll look it up.
I thought it starts with a Y. Let me put it up here. What is it gonna go on?
Hero.
Hero. There we go. I don't know why I thought it started with a Y. Yeah. Well, him like he always like in my head. It's every time he does a move, he's like dodge this. It sounds like the original actor, which I think is pretty cool. But
So they're okay. So they're more like trying to portray like the 90s style voice acting, if anything, right?
Kinda, but it definitely sounds more modern. Like the voice acting is definitely
okay.
better than what the original voice acting had, for sure.
Okay.
But at
Makes
least
sense.
he sounds alike like the original voice actor to Hero. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the original voice actor, but I don't think it is. But yeah, like Lunar 2 for me, again, this might be something I'm biased about because I played Lunar 2 first. I think I like Lunar 2 better than Lunar 1. Now they are connected in a way, but the great thing about it is, in my opinion, I don't think you really need to play 1 to understand 2 because they're connected by an event. I don't want to go into spoilers. They're connected by an event, but playing 2, they explain that whole event pretty good, so it doesn't feel like you're left out. So like I think you can play 2 and go back to 1, and then while going to the 1, you're like, oh, okay, I know what event they're talking about now, or I can see the whole event in action, versus going to 1 to 2. But anyways, Lunar 2, is anybody else gonna? Lunar, sorry, Remastered Collection. Is anybody else gonna get that?
Yeah, I'm gonna quadruple dip on that for sure.
I want physical.
Do they have a demo? I haven't played any of the game. Oh, fair. How much is it coming out anyway? $60?
I think 60 for the physical through Amazon. Amazon's the only place to get the physical, and it's 50 for digital.
Oh, okay. So it's either getting a 60 on the Switch or getting a 50 on Steam. Okay.
Yeah, and the physical has like a reversible cover, or it might have extra covers. So one
reversible
variant
covers. Oh no.
Yeah, one variant is Lunar 1, right? And then the other variant is Lunar 2, so you can have whichever one on the cover, which is kind of cool.
God,
That's cool.
Man.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly recommend it. The story is pretty neat. Like, graphically speaking, they did update everything, so it's not just a it's not a bare bones remaster. It does look a lot better than the original game. I was playing Lunar 2 not that long ago on my Steam Deck, and yes, it does look a lot better than the original ROM did on PS1, even with upscaling and stuff like that. So you can tell they added a little bit more textures to it. What else? I really don't want to spoil the story, but it's cool because both games have a character that you can't control, but sometimes they come in clutch, which is kind of neat. And that was one of my favorite mechanics of it, that it's this randomness of this character that can save you or do nothing at all, which is neat. Now, this character you can't control, it won't hurt you in any way, shape, or form because it's just an extra character. You are controlling all the rest of the party members, which is up to, I think, 6 people, if I'm not mistaken. 6 people at a time. And then you have the random character there that you can't control. So, pretty neat. There's like a positioning, I won't say positioning system, but like your characters will move. So it is like side by side. But your character, when they go to do a move, they will run up and like attack, and then they'll stay put. Or if they do a long distance attack, they'll stay back. Or sometimes, like if you have a character here and there's another character here, if you attack, sometimes it might hit that other. I'm sorry, not character, but that other enemy because they're next to each other. There's a lot of different like positioning systems in there that make it a little bit more unique than your typical, turn-based RPG.
Working designs really mess with the difficulty too in those games. They're really, really hard
They are.
for the PlayStation version specifically. And
Yes.
they also kind of messed with the translation too, which was kind of a novelty back in the 90s where
Mhm.
translations for Japanese games were usually so bad, and they kind of went in and took some liberties, and I think they kind of made it more um, modern at that
Mhm.
point and more Americanized. And so I'm thinking that this new version is probably going to have a bit more of a literal translation, which is
Yeah.
probably for the best at this point.
Yeah. And I think that cast in this game is good too. Like we talked about like the cast of Final Fantasy 9 last week of how we adore that cast, but honestly, Lunar 2, in my opinion, has a better cast than Lunar 1. I don't know. You have you played both games, Brian?
I have.
Would you agree with that, or you don't remember?
No, I think, in my opinion at least, I think Lunar One's cast is a bit more memorable. I mean,
Mhm.
you have Galleon and you have Jessica and you have Alex and Luna. Like I can name
Mhm.
all those characters, and then we had to remember who the protagonist was. And two, you have Hero, and then you
Yeah.
have I think her name's Lucia, and then you have the uh, I can't I can't remember the other ones, but I think there's just something inherently special about Lunar
Mhm.
One, just because when it came out, I mean, obviously there were RPGs before Lunar One, but there was just
Yeah.
something so. Um,
It was different.
there was a lot of meat to it.
Yeah.
It was a lot of it was very whimsical and had a lot of really nice story and writing, and the comments. Like it was just a very solid piece of software. And then two
Anime
came out and it built
cutscenes.
on it. It's a very good game as well. It's just I feel like when one came out, it was just kind of fresh at
Mhm.
the time.
Yeah. I mean, the anime cutscenes too made Lunar 2.
That too.
Like how many discs was it? 5 discs, I think it was something ridiculous because there were so
Not
many.
on PlayStation, it wasn't that long. I think it
Yeah,
was only two or three on PlayStation, wasn't it?
no, I'm sure it came in a packet that came with multiple discs. Let me see.
Well, I thought like it was like a soundtrack because like that
That might have been
PlayStation
it.
had like the big special edition thing.
Yeah,
Let me see. Lunar 2 PS1
yeah.
game.
It might. Let me see. Mm, Probably gotta look at a Wikipedia.
It's 2 discs.
Was it two
Or
discs?
actually
Okay,
no, just there's 3 discs. 3
three
discs.
discs. Okay,
It says 1 and 2 are the longest. Disc 3 is the epilogue.
okay. Like Final Fantasy 7.
Yep.
Yeah, because I remember my friend, because he let me borrow it, so he had like the whole thing that came with like 5 discs and all that stuff. But it's
It
really
was like a
really good.
soundtrack, a making of, like that's where
Hmm.
all those discs were.
Hmm. The soundtrack's pretty neat. Like the boss music for Lunar 2 is very memorable for me. Probably because you'll die a lot on bosses, so you'll hear the song so many times, but it's still very memorable. It's a good soundtrack. I think it's a pretty good like hype track that you get there. I'll never forget the freaking, I think it was a puppet. from Lunar 2 that I just kept dying over and over
Yeah, the
again.
Galleon or Lunar 2?
Yeah, from
Oh,
Lunar
yeah,
2.
I remember that boss. Yep.
Yeah, I just kept dying over and over, and I hated that enemy. Ah, so annoying. But yeah, Lunar 2 Remastered Collection comes out next Friday. Hopefully everybody
Yep, I'll
gets
be
it.
all over that.
Yes, I highly recommend it. I'm gonna try to pick up the physical one from Amazon. I was trying to look it up. You can't pre-order it, so hopefully it just shows up available day one, and I can order it, even if I have to get it a little bit later. But I'm excited for it, and part of my reason I'm getting physical is because I just would like to have everything on the cartridge. You know,
Which, yeah, I understand.
Mhm.
Are they going to do like limited like time physical stuff for the game? I'm assuming,
I would
or
assume so. Yeah, if it's
yeah.
Amazon exclusive, then I would assume that it's a limited time.
Oh, it's Amazon exclusive. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you have Claire Obscura coming the week or 2 weeks after that. That'll have to be all over.
Oh yeah, that's right. That is very soon. That I'm excited for. Am I gonna get it on launch? I don't know. We'll see. Because right now, like, I'll tell you this, Lunar I'm trying to get because I want it before like physical copies just don't exist for that game. But my head lately has been about the Nintendo Switch 2, which we're gonna go and start talking about right now because literally every day I wake up, I was like, man, I wish I could pre-order the Switch 2 because Wednesday has passed. We could have pre-ordered the Switch 2 because of tariffs. So they announced, I think we talked about it on the podcast on Sunday that we were not able to do pre-orders over here in the US and Canada because of tariffs and stuff like that. Recently, tariffs were put on hold for 90 days, which is some good news, right? Hoping that we can do pre-orders sooner rather than later for the Nintendo Switch 2. But that is not the main thing that I wanted to talk about here. What I want to start with when it comes to Switch 2 information is Doug Bowser transforming into Bowser with his comments. It reminds a lot of people of what Xbox did and Don Matrick did when explaining if people don't have an internet connection, they have a console for them called the Xbox 360. In this case, Doug Bowser comments on the price of the Nintendo Switch 2 and what says, we understand that the Switch 2 is pretty expensive, and that's why we have a console for them in the Nintendo Switch. I'm like, they're not the same thing. Like, well, why would you comment like that? You have to know the gaming industry and understand what's going on. Like, you saying something like that is gonna get people furious because Don Matrick did something similar in the game, and gamers just did not like it. And you have to go and repeat something in a similar, how can I put it? In a similar, what's the right word I'm looking for?
Main?
Yeah, like similar, like tone or like vein, right? Like it's a very similar situation, and I don't understand Doug Bowser. Like, in my opinion, and no offense to the guy, like I don't know him personally, so I don't really want to attack him on a personal level, but like, he's not Reggie. Reggie, I felt like was so in tune with gamers and knew what gamers wanted, and he was just there. Like back then, I will never forget the comments were called Iwata, Miyamoto, and Reggie. They were the Triforce, right? Those three were everywhere. Anytime something Nintendo related was being announced, they were there. At E3 events, they were there. Nintendo Directs, they were there. And there was always so many pictures of them three just being together. Like the Bowser is just like non-existent. He's
Yeah.
like a bot. Like he just puts stuff on Twitter, and you're wondering, is that really you, or is somebody writing this for you?
It's not just him. I'll say the same thing for the new Japanese president for Nintendo.
Yeah.
He's not doing the same thing either.
Well, yeah, he's definitely like he's just a business guy. Like they wanted
Yeah.
somebody younger and more business like, which is why they went with him. Which I mean, it's kind of hard. Like I think with the Switch 2, we will see if that was a bad call. There's a lot of things that people are upset about, but we talked about it on last podcast in terms of pricing. We all agreed here that $450 for a Switch 2 is actually a pretty good price, especially when you compare like price to performance and games
Within reason,
themselves.
yeah.
What was that?
So it's reasonable, yeah, for what you
Yeah.
get.
And then game pricing, yeah, $80 is a lot, but it's also understandable when video games have just not gone up in price in such a long time. But yeah, Doug Bowser's comments. What do you guys think about what he said?
Apparently,
I
there's
did-
some.
uh,
Do you want to go?
Oh yeah, I'm just saying that I didn't know he even made those kind of comments. Honestly, then again, I'm not really into like social media like everyone else is, if anything. But I'm kind of shocked he said that. And yeah, I don't know why he made a comment like that in the first place, especially if you're trying to push the Nintendo Switch 2. You
Mhm.
know, I feel like didn't they say like that last direct that we had, like the direct before the Switch 2, that will be like the last Nintendo Switch direct, right?
I don't think they ever
They didn't
said
say the
that.
last
I think we
one,
were
no.
speculating.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. So yeah, I'm just saying stuff like that. It's kind of what's the word? Disingenuous? I don't know,
Yeah. I mean,
but yeah,
Flippant.
Furukawa did say that the Nintendo Switch will last at least like a year or two, even when the Switch 2 was announced. So we do know that some games are going to be available still on Nintendo Switch.
mhm.
But I agree with you. Like, just like I said, saying that is just not right.
Yeah.
I think that there might have been some missing context in the comment. I read some tweet that, like, I don't know if they included more of like what he was talking about in the conversation, or if there was more words that were involved in that quote. I can understand the kind of why somebody would be put off by those comments, because it kind of comes across as elitist or flippant, or
Yeah.
not really caring about what people are going through as far as like wanting to get the new hardware. But at the same time, though, I'm just so sick of people looking for outrage about things. Like, yeah, I get that it's flippant. I get that it makes it sound like they don't care about people that don't make a lot of money or whatever the case may be. But it's just there's so many things in this world that are worth caring about that people aren't getting up in arms about, or they're not making as big of a deal as people. I don't even know what you'd call him. We'll call him just like Nintendo of America president.
Yeah.
Is that, I don't know what that's what his title is.
Yeah, Nintendo
Doug
American
Bowser.
president. Yeah.
Yeah, talking about and the missing context is that I guess he was just saying that like they wanted to keep supporting the Switch in case people can't jump aboard immediately to the Switch 2, which I feel is totally fair. I mean, Sony is still making games that are next gen on PlayStation 4, and I mean not so much anymore, but at least the first few years, I mean, like Horizon was on PS4, Forbidden West, God of War 2 is on PlayStation 4. So I think that's really all he was meaning. It was probably just something that was either taken a little bit out of context, or something that maybe he should have worded just slightly differently. But just like every fan, every Nintendo fan, every gaming fan, just looking for every single opportunity to jump down Nintendo's throat
Yeah.
about a comment. It's just it's getting just so tiring. It's just like they're gonna release this system. It's gonna sell out. It's gonna sell insanely well, despite all the internet rage about everything that is going on with it. And I bet you any money that these are just the smallest These are the smallest amount of people that are just making the loudest amount of noise because they just want something to complain about. Um, yeah, I mean, we'll see what I'm sure there'll be another controversy. Like he'll say that King Boo is worth the $80 price point of Mario Kart World alone, and then the internet's gonna say, "Oh well, King Boo, you can see through him. He's not real substance. They're ripping Nintendo's ripping us off. It's a ghost. It's not real, or something. I don't know. But I just want them to release the system. People will eventually get used to whatever price point that they choose to set their games at, and I'm sure other companies will follow suit for better or for worse. And that's just the world we live in. And I think the sooner we accept that, the better.
I think the problem is the comment that he made with all the controversy going on with the pricing of the games. Like, there's not a lot of people that were upset about the price of the Switch 2. More people were upset about the pricing of the games themselves. But the fact that he was like, the way he commented and how he said the way he said it, in all honesty, like with him being a business guy, that's just a rookie mistake. That's a dumb move. He should have just went with the safe route, you know, dodge that question altogether. No, what's the point of highlighting this when there's already a lot of controversy going on and you don't pour freaking oil on fire?
Yeah.
So yeah, people can take it however they want to take it, but it's still a dumb move on his part.
Yeah, I agree.
Because whatever he says, however he says it, people are gonna, look at it.
Yeah.
And we are his constituents. We are his customers, right? Some people are going to take it the wrong way. Some people aren't. But if a lot of people are going to take it the wrong way, you're pissing off the wrong people.
Yeah, and I agree with that too, because like, well, both of you, like what Brian's saying is true, and what you're saying is also true. One thing that I look at, because I try to be very understanding, whether I like it or support it or whatever the case might be. I try to understand like both sides where it's coming from. And honestly speaking, like companies do this all the time. They might not say it up front, but in their head, if they are selling an older console or older device while selling the newer device, there's a reason behind that. And it's like, yes, we have another product for you who can't, buy this newer device. It is called older device. You buy that older device and you can use that. And I think he didn't really have to say anything like that. Honestly, maybe if he didn't mention it, people won't be outraged, but still, the fact still remains the same that people who can't buy a Switch 2, well, guess what? They're going to be using their Switch 1 or Metroid
Yeah.
Prime 4 because they can't afford a Switch 2 and stuff like that. So,
He could have just went like, hey, we
Mhm.
know, people aren't happy with the price, but, there are other devices out here that are way more expensive.
Yeah.
And based on our testing, this Switch 2 performs just as well, if not better,
Mhm.
at a reduced, a little cheaper than
Yep.
current hardware right now. He could have
I don't
said
think they want
something
to be
along
that
those lines.
defensive, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he could have said something along that lines and not just like
Yeah.
like saying like, hey,
Yeah.
I understand people can't afford it.
Mhm.
Well, now you can go buy a Switch instead if you can't afford it right now.
I mean, if I was if I was Doug Bowser, I would have been like, when the person interviewing asked, what do you feel about the pricing of the Nintendo Switch? I'd be like, excuse me, what did you say? What did you say? I'll repeat it 3 times. I'd be like, it doesn't matter what the price is. Like, go back to old WWF The Rock type of comments. No, I wouldn't do that. That'd be definitely, people would definitely hate it. That'd be
I
awesome,
just
though.
thought of a basic idea.
Mhm.
Since Nintendo and Microsoft are kind of like buddy, Nintendo could just partner with Microsoft and trying to find a way to stream Nintendo Switch 2 games to the Nintendo Switch and implement that into like the NSO or probably to a different. So like go to basic NSO for $20 a year to NSO plus expansion for $40 a year, then like NSO plus Ultimate for like $60 to $80 a year,
Mhm.
and with that you play the Switch 2 games streamed to your Nintendo Switch. They could do
Mhm.
that.
They could, but I don't want them to.
Hey,
No
listen.
cloud streaming games. No,
Hey,
don't
Yeah,
give them
listen.
ideas, Ash.
Listen. I just thought of that. I'm like, they could be testing the waters with that because they did say that they're going to do the DS download play to the Nintendo Switch to
Mhm.
play Mario Kart World
yeah, but
tour. So
that's it's being streamed from a Switch 2 though.
That's true. That
yeah,
is being
that's a simple concept. So they're like, okay, if we can do that from a Switch 2, think of it. What if we can do that from literal servers
Yeah.
at that point?
But
So hey, and Microsoft got the money. They got the servers to do Game
Yeah.
Pass.
I don't think Nintendo's going to go that route because they see how Microsoft is not, their subscriptions for Game Pass is not hitting what
it's
they
going
plan to
down.
hit.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
but
that's true. Phil Spencer heard
No.
that. They got him.
No, fan's been attacked by Phil Spencer.
It's okay, fan. You don't have to say anything. I know Phil's right behind you with a gun pointed at your head. Just don't worry, man.
Yeah, I wonder what
he's safe.
happened. That was weird.
He's safe.
Phil Spencer. He's like, banned. Oh, man.
But it was just a random idea I thought about it. Maybe Doug Bowser meant that. Hey, be like, hey, listen, you just buy the regular Nintendo Switch, and then
Mhm.
later on you can just use the streaming service and stream our Nintendo Switch 2 games. Who knows? It could happen.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think Nintendo would do that because they're one of the few gaming companies that actually make money off of their consoles.
Well, I just saw something random, which I can't confirm if this is actually true or not, but apparently Nintendo is selling at a loss with the Switch 2, apparently.
If it is, it's not by much because they were making
Yeah.
like 50 to $100 on every
They-
Switch sold.
They
Yeah.
did say, they didn't mention it, but I think Doug Bowser said it because I was watching I think it was MSNBC or somebody was talking to him, and he didn't mention that they they aren't really losing much money. But yeah, like you said, they're going to make up all of that on the software side. So this might be
Mhm.
actually the first console that they are losing money on, but it's not by a lot when you compare it to like
They're probably like
PlayStation.
$20 per
Yeah.
unit or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, $50 per unit or something
Yeah.
like that. Like nowhere near as egregious as like PS5 and
Yeah.
Xbox Series X.
Shoot, I'm willing to argue that if people are willing to keep comparing this to like the Steam Deck OLED, which by the way starts at $529,
Mhm.
I can tell you for a fact that the Valve is actually making bank off of the Steam Deck, because to get the Steam Deck, already have a abundant games in your library.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about games.
You're buying games
So
too.
so essentially, Steam is essentially Valve can like upcharge up to $529 just so they can make some sort of profit off.
But yeah, they took the console approach, right? Because what does the console do? You buy the hardware, yeah, you sell it at a loss, but you make that up with PlayStation titles, right, or through
But-
PlayStation Network and so forth.
But
And that's
with
what's
Valve is
consoles
backward.
stay survive.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
with
Valve
Valve
is
is
open,
backwards,
right?
Yeah,
So-
so yeah.
So they can do that, but they're selling the Steam Deck at a loss. They said it themselves too.
Oh, they already said it a long time ago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they said
Yeah.
it at like when it was announced. They're like, we're not making money on this.
Yeah.
We're making
But
this
the
on
hope
software.
is, their thing was that people buy from Steam, which works, right? Like I've bought a lot of games on Steam. My library has skyrocketed since I purchased a Steam Deck. So
You bought a lot of
strategy
games
works.
because you can play them on Steam Deck. Like that's your
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
key.
I
and
mean,
that makes money.
I mean, hey, I'm not guilty of that. I've been playing some new games off of it with no issues, so I love it.
And
So,
that doesn't stop people because Steam is also on PC.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah, I can just transfer saves
that's
via
like-
the cloud. Yeah, I
So
love
it's
it.
a completely different, like, it's a
Mhm.
different fruit altogether.
Yeah.
It's a different.
It is. Thumbsticks are not Hall effect, so they have confirmed that the
That sucks.
thumbsticks on the Switch 2 are not Hall effect. They are custom built, and they said they are supposed to be, less prone to drift. Which, I
I'm
want to
not-
bring up this topic. We talked a lot, especially with the Switch, and Joy-Con drift. It was a huge issue. But when you look at other thumbsticks, do you think that it being not Hall effect is a big deal? Right? Like, what if it's not Hall effect, and we don't have to worry about drift? Is that okay?
I mean, I don't know too much about controllers when it comes to specs, but
Mhm.
like I have an Xbox One, Xbox One controllers blue,
Mhm.
and I don't know if that thing had Hall effects on
It
it,
does
but
not.
yeah, and I had that controller for like I don't know how many years. I
Mm-hmm.
worn that thing, and that thing never had drift whatsoever.
Mhm.
Right. So I feel like when you're selling your controller to say, hey, it has Hall effect, it shouldn't mean it's not going to get drift. It should mean, hey, with Hall effect, you're going to get like better like feedback, better latency with these sticks overall, and better quality, better when it comes to wear and tear and stuff. Not just saying, hey, you won't get drift with these and stuff. So
Yeah,
that's how I feel mainly. Do you guys know the DualSense FL has Hall effect sticks?
it does not.
So I have the light blue DualSense controller, and I had that for like I think a good 3 years by now, and it still
Mhm.
works perfectly well, and I never got drift from that either. So
Yeah.
yeah, it goes back to my point. Hey, if you're going to sell Hall effects, it shouldn't be the whole drifting thing shouldn't be the contention of you selling the Hall effect stuff. It should be
Yeah.
something else. Now I don't know
Mhm.
the whole thing of Hall effects, so you definitely got to educate me on that, if anything. Which I'm pretty sure there are better sticks overall, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
typically,
just
Yeah, go ahead,
magnet.
Fran.
That's all it is.
Mm.
All
Just
it takes
magnet?
is use magnets to determine positioning, right?
Mm.
So there's no like part that wears out, where traditional sticks have like an actual like part in it where you move it, it hits a sensor, and like that's where it knows where it's at. That's how it
Oh, okay.
relays that information. But the Hall effect is just it's a magnet, so like you can move the stick around. You're not wearing anything out other than like the actual like stick itself, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, it goes back to one of my things. Say, hey, this would be way better quality like types of sticks where they last a while longer compared to like my Xbox One or
Yeah.
DualSense controller.
Now,
I wouldn't try
uh,
to like brag about no drift. I wouldn't.
Yeah, I will
know?
say this: Hall effect sticks, in my opinion, feel better. So, like, you have the 8-bit do Ultimate controller. Do you
Yeah.
feel like the thumbsticks feel better? in terms of
Yeah.
movement and everything than like your DualSense or your Xbox controller. Like, to me personally, like I feel that they feel better, and when I go back to an Xbox controller or a like DualSense, in my opinion, like or not in my opinion, but like I feel like I notice a difference, and it bothers me. It could be that my
Well,
brain is like, this is not Hall effect, and it's telling me it, and that's why it's bothering me. But I do feel like there's a little bit just difference in feel overall.
I've been using these ever since I got them. Like
Mhm.
ever since I've been using these, I've never been touching my Xbox One controller. I have never been touching my DualSense controller because mainly the
Mhm.
fact that, for one thing, it can work as a wired controller. It can work as a wireless 2.4 gigahertz controller, and can also work as a Bluetooth controller. And what's
Mhm.
awesome about this is that I already have the same thing hooked up to my Steam Deck. So if I want to play off the Steam Deck, all I gotta do is switch to Bluetooth, press this button, and anymore. Oopsie, I switched to my PC. My bad. It was on. It was already on Bluetooth. So let me go back to Bluetooth, and I hit this button. It's already try to signal for the Steam Deck. And any moment that TV is going to turn on with the Steam Deck menu, and the Steam Deck is already turning on. Hopefully, it's going to recognize, hey, it's connected to the TV, and the TV is going to automatically turn on, which you can see is happening right now, all because of this thing. You
Mhm.
know, and I can switch back and forth between the Steam Deck to my PC, which is amazing. Now that's just one thing. The whole overall feel is amazing. Now the Rumble, it's not. I don't think this is HD Rumble, but
It's not.
this is the Rumble feels pretty goddamn good for a normal Rumble. I
Yeah.
actually like it a lot and stuff. So
Mhm.
honestly, I'm thinking I'm going to rate this as one of the best controllers I ever have. If anything, compared to the DualSense, the Switch Pro controller, and the Xbox controller, it's mainly because it just feels like a lot
Mhm.
better in my
Yeah.
hands, in my opinion. I don't know. So
I agree. That's
Yeah.
why
Sorry, guys. I'm moving around a lot. There's a wasp in my office, so I'm just like
Oh,
keeping an
man.
eye on it.
Oh, bro, I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
You're good.
That's why the your thing got shut off. The wasp got
Yeah.
mad.
About to get
Uh,
up, but I got this compressed air, and I'm like just blowing it away because I don't have any bug
I
killer.
was just gonna say
Mhm.
that I don't really care about the Hall effect. Like, it would be nice if it was, but I've never had drift ever in my life. And I know it's a prevalent problem, but I never have had it.
Not
So
on like
I'm
Joy-Cons?
I'm sorry, what?
Not on a Joy-Con, or do you mainly play in dock
Nothing.
mode?
No,
Mhm.
I've never gotten drift on anything, and I've
Mm.
played it undocked and all that.
Mhm.
But the thing is that I kept looking at previews for about the Switch 2 was the joysticks on the Joy-Con just feel like garbage. Like, they feel like they're like one step away from falling apart. Like, when you click them in,
Mhm.
it makes horrible noises, like the sounds that they make, and
For the
they
Joy-Con
just
2?
don't have a ton of travel. What'd you say?
For the second Joy-Cons you're talking about, or the first one?
The Switch Joy-Cons,
Okay.
like what we have. Yeah,
Mm.
just like that when you click them in, they just sound so bad. They
Mhm.
just sound janky. They just have like they sound echoey.
Mhm.
Like, there's just like they just feel really awful, and there's not enough movement on them. Like, you can't get enough degree of movement.
Yeah.
And so I really hope, like I said, I'm indifferent to Hall effect. Like, that would have been cool if they had it. I mean, you would figure that given the uproar that happened with the Joy-Con, that
Mhm.
if it's not Hall, they must have some other thing in the
Technology.
pipe to make it so it's more reliable. I mean, how much money they have to spend probably repairing
Mhm.
Joy-Con, and you'd figure they'd want to nip that in the bud and make like a really well functioning and high performing and consistent stick for the future.
Mhm.
Um, and so it's Pan, are you listening for how janky they sound? Do you agree with me or no?
No, it doesn't sound janky. It does feel janky. It doesn't sound janky. I don't hear any
Yeah.
issues.
Oh
I did
my, I don't
replace
know.
these with Hall effects that you could
Oh,
buy.
you
Like,
replaced yours then, so that doesn't even
but
count.
these I didn't.
Oh,
I did
okay.
it just for the heck of it, just because I'm
Okay.
like, it was just a fun thing to do because I never
Mhm.
took apart a Joy-Con before. I was like, I'm just gonna do it just for the hell of it because it only cost me like $20 for the parts, so I just did it for
That's
fun.
worth it.
Let
Yeah.
me ask you this question, Fan. How
Yep.
when you switch to the Hall effects on the other Joy-Con, did it
Mhm.
feel better, or did it feel any different? Did the feedback feel better? I guess I don't know.
Like without a game running on, it's hard to say for sure, but like just physical touch on its own, you can feel a difference
Okay.
between the two. Like I wouldn't say it's smoother, but it's less bumpy.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, it does have a bumpy feel on the Joy Cons. It feels like every time you move it, like the
It's like
rubber's like
hitting
going like
something.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That I do agree that you can feel that. When I moved to the where's my Switch? I think it's downstairs. To the mobile pad. Those have Hall effect, and it's a night and day difference in terms of feel with those. But to be fair, those are also full size thumbsticks too. They're not Joy-Con thumbsticks.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay. I see.
Did
what
you not kill it
yeah.
yet, Fan?
I honestly don't know. I hit it with the compressed air and it was flying around like I was drunk. And then it hit
Yeah.
my ceiling fan and then it just disappeared. So who knows?
Oh man, that's scary.
It's
I'm
gonna
terrified for you.
yeah, it's
I mean,
gonna do a sneak
I've been stung
attack.
by a wasp once before. It does hurt, but after a couple weeks, you'll be fine.
Hmm. Every time I think of things like that, like when I was a kid, we were visiting Puerto Rico and we were visiting family there. And I guess on my last day back, I didn't notice, but a bee had stung me and I got really sick. Like right after that, I'll
But you had
never
a bad reaction.
yeah, I'll never forget. Coolest part was that I remember I fell asleep. Our flight got delayed, which sucks. I fell asleep. There was a doctor on the plane, and the doctor was like taking care of me because my grandmother was scared because I was with my grandmother. Um, my grandmother was scared that something might happen. But I slept the whole time. All I know is I woke up. I fell asleep in Puerto Rico. I woke up. Apparently, it was the next day, and I woke up to the Mega Man 8 opening stage because my dad was playing that outside of my room. I was like, "What is that?" And then yeah, he's playing Mega Man 8. And I was like, "I'm home already?" Like I didn't know that. He's like, "Oh yeah, we rented out this game for you because we know you like Mega Man, so and you're sick, so here, play some Mega Man." And I was cured miraculously.
Nice.
Mega Man
Cured.
8 cured me. Yeah. That's why there's a lot of nostalgia for me with Mega Man 8 because I'll never forget that. Pretty awesome. Good game. Good game. Even though Bryant hates
Okay.
Mega Man 8. Good game.
I don't I don't hate it, but it is one of the few I never finished.
I loved it. It's hard at the end, but Frostman, music's amazing. Again, video game music. Mega Man 8 has a
You know
really good
what's
soundtrack.
I'm Clown Man.
you know
I
what's
love
better
Clown Man.
than you know what's better than Mega Man 8?
What?
My number
Dude, don't even Mighty Number 8.
I'm sorry. It was just a setup for it. I'm
No.
sorry. Oh,
I didn't mind
okay.
Mighty Number 9. Like it wasn't the best, but it was alright. Like it wasn't a true Mega Man successor that people thought. If anything, Azure Striker Gunvolt is more of a successor to Mega Man than and not OG Mega Man, more like Mega Man X / Mega Man Zero. It is made by the same team who did the Mega Man Zero game, so they do feel alike, but Azure Striker Gunvolt was good.
I feel like because it was the same creator of Mega Man that was trying to do Mighty Number 9, right? Because I think mainly because of that, there's a lot of expectations like being hell for this, and I feel like maybe this game was like probably an okay game, but to Mega Man fans that didn't reach their standards. I feel, I think that's what mainly happened.
There was with that it's weird because was it Keiji Inafune? He created Mega Man. He created Street Fighter. He created a lot of Capcom properties. And for him to strike out with Mighty Number 9, he struck out with Recore. There was another game that he did that wasn't good. Like it's a pretty bad track record for him, where he just couldn't
Unfortunately.
do anything. What was that?
I don't think Recore was bad. It's just it wasn't great, and it wasn't Mighty Number 9 level bad. Certainly, I
Yeah.
think it was just like 7.
Yeah, it was okay. Like I dropped off of Recore. What got me excited, it was the original Metroid Prime team, which is Armature Works. They worked on it with him. And it has like some of those Metroid Prime vibes to it, but I don't know, to me it just I fell off because I got bored pretty quick.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyways, Digital Foundry claims that the Switch 2 in portable mode is PS4 performance. And like I'm okay with it. I do wonder like how accurate that is because the footage that we're using, of course, was based off of trailers, and some like upfront view. They didn't really have a true like comparison because they don't have a unit at with them, right? So I wonder how accurate that is because we've seen reports of people saying that this actually looks and plays better than an Xbox Series S in Street Fighter 6. And the Xbox Series S is more powerful than PS4. So it's one of those things that I feel like we'll have to wait and see. My guess, in my opinion, I think it's going to be better than PS4 performance portable. Maybe not by a lot, but I still think it's going to be better than PS4 performance, but maybe not as good as PS4 Pro. What do you guys think?
Hmm. Oh, and we're talking about Switch 2 portable, right?
Mm-hmm. Portable mode
Oh,
only. Yeah. Dock mode, I think, is
hmm.
beyond PS4
Yeah.
performance. I would say PS4 Pro, if not beyond that.
Hmm. Yeah, maximum we can go up to is 1080p.
Mm-hmm.
And like if we're trying to like visualize like a PS4 but in portable mode,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. I
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
know.
like I'm trying to think. Like Metroid Prime 4, it runs
Yeah.
1080p. No, sorry, it runs
Well,
720p 120 in portable mode.
I thought it was 1080p in portable.
It's 1080p 60
depends.
in
Depends if
quality.
you do quality or
Yeah,
performance.
Oh, got it.
yeah.
Okay,
And then
fair.
performance
Okay.
mode is 720 120.
Hmm.
And I mean, it's kind of hard to gauge that because PS4 you couldn't do 120 at all.
Yeah,
So
that
it's
yeah,
not a
that's
fair
that yeah, that's the
comparison.
that's the difficult part of it because like I mean, I've never seen a PS4 or any console before like the current generation that was able to go up to 120. That's the issue,
True.
right? And the
Yeah.
thing is, you got to remember is that the Switch 2 is going to have way newer hardware compared to the PS4, so the comparisons is just hard to gauge with. You know, I don't know.
But
Yeah.
even at like 1080p 60, like not every game on a PS4 constantly hits
Yeah.
60.
Most
I would
games were
say
30. Yeah.
I would say at that point, like if Sony's willing to release The Last of Us
Mm-hmm.
on the Switch, which I mean could be possible. Not that huge, but
Yeah.
possible. I would like to see a comparison of the performance on the Switch 2
Mm-hmm.
compared to the PS4. Now, which version of that? Probably not the remaster version of it. Probably
Yeah.
like the one before that. But again, it's going to be weird to gauge this because they may have to like update the code a little bit for Switch 2 in order to take advantage of the hardware. So again, we're going back to where okay, it's running on a newer version on the Switch 2 compared to an older version on the PS4
Mm-hmm.
Pro. So yeah, it's hard to compare, man. I don't know.
Did Cyberpunk 2077 come out on PS4? Does anybody
It did.
remember? It did.
Yeah,
It
it
did, yeah.
did.
And
It
Yeah.
shouldn't have, but it
that's what
did.
they were using to compare it.
Okay.
Oh,
They did
yeah.
use it. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I thought they said, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't they say that Cyberpunk 2077 runs 1080p 40 FPS on Nintendo Switch?
It does.
Docked, I think.
Yes,
docked?
undocked, and it
Oh,
was up. I
okay.
think it's up to 45 frames. I think.
Okay. And then
Yeah, it was 30 and 45. So it's
Okay.
like
Yeah.
Performance you get like 45, quality you get 30, I think.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. I
But
don't know
still,
why
like even that, like that game still ran like garbage, like on a PS4. So
Mhm. And it looked like it ran better on Nintendo Switch. So like, and texture
Yeah.
quality
It's-
looked a little bit better too.
It's just going back to the thing where like they were technically on an older build for the PS4 compared to the Switch 2, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just I don't think it's very much of a fair comparison
Mhm.
at that point, right? And then you have to account for the PS4 architecture and how it tries to do instructions and everything on when it comes to video games and stuff. So it's a lot of different like factors you have to consider.
Yeah.
If we're trying to look for just straight up raw performance and stuff, then yeah, that makes sense to me because like I can put two PC. If we're using a PC game and I'm
Yeah.
comparing two graphics cards, that makes more sense because we're using the same build, same version, and we're just comparing apples to oranges between two GPUs at that point. Makes sense to me. But when it comes to like comparing Switch 2 to PS4, it's hard to gauge because we're essentially looking at I think two different generations. It's just
Like you said, different
yeah,
architecture too. Like Switch is
that's
still
like
ARM.
comparing like a
Mhm.
mid-range like computer that was built in 2020 versus one that's built now in 2025.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If they're using the same
Right.
PC version of the game, but with this, that's not really the case because when you're getting a PS4 build of the game, it's essentially different code to run ultimately on the PS4.
People compare PC versions to console versions all the time.
Yeah. True. You
Like
see,
that's a thing they review. Like that's a
Yeah, but that's PC to
that's a-
console. We're doing console to console in 2 different generations.
but it's like I'm using your same argument, different code running the game. I'm using your exact same argument.
yeah.
Yeah,
true.
but the issue is how you're supposed to argue that how you supposed to gauge the raw power of the Switch 2 performance where it's either powerful than the PS4 or the PS4 Pro if they're already running on different optimized code for the different games and stuff. That's the issue there because you can't really because at that point you're already seeing a red herring on what the actual raw performance is of the Switch 2 when comparing to other consoles and stuff. That's what I'm saying because you're already comparing 2 different builds. That's the problem.
Mm, I'm not getting what you're trying to say with that, like Ash. What do you
So
mean? So like you talking about just like in terms of give it an example like comparing like RDNA 2 to RDNA 4. Is that what you're trying to say, or are you trying to say just like in
it's
general?
the literal builds of the games because
Mhm.
we don't know with where Cyberpunk's latest version is on the PS4
Mhm.
with that. And again, going back
But you
to what
can
I'm
use
saying,
other PS4 games. Like they even compare Final Fantasy VII Remake
Mhm.
because that was on the PS4, and that's technically probably maybe a little bit newer game,
It is
maybe
also at the tail
than
end of
Cyberpunk.
PS4. I mean,
But
Cyberpunk
they're still
also was at the end, but Final Fantasy
yeah, but
7
Cyberpunk
remake was exclusive
they
too.
they had to like update it and stuff like that to make it
Mhm.
run better, right? But they didn't really do any of that on the PS4 for Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah.
Like the build of that game
uh,
is the build of that game, right?
an-
So they
another thing I
compare
can make
that.
too. Yeah, another thing I can make too is that right, and I can use this argument for it when it comes to emulation because
Mhm.
right now literally the hardest game to emulate, or literally the list of hardest games to emulate right now is practically PS3 games. Funny enough, mainly because when you're trying to reverse engineer something, you're trying to essentially act like a PS3 on how it runs the games itself.
Mhm.
And when you look through the architecture of the PS3, it was the architecture itself was extremely complicated for devs to even fully optimize the game for the PS3 to the
Mhm.
point where like some games you prefer to run those off the 360 at that point because their architecture was easier and better to work with when it go for the devs themselves. And when being reflected off of an emulator that apparently if you were to get a Ryzen anything that's above a Ryzen 5800 X3D, you will have access to a newer AV1 instruction set that apparently runs better on the PCS3 emulator and stuff. So it's what I'm saying is that like when it comes to different architectures and how devs try to optimize a game, it's going to be different for every scenario, and it's not really going to be honing towards on how it's not really going to give you like the true raw performance of the system compared to another system and stuff because devs have to do different ways to code their logic into it and get it fully optimized for that specified system, which is that's a good reason why that like you typically PC gamers get the last end of the stick when it comes to the PC versions of the games
Yeah.
coming out for consoles because
So
it would be easier for them to just focus on one, you know,
yeah.
logic for a whole bunch of systems and stuff. You know,
So I get where you're getting at when it comes to that. So, but are you trying to like what I'm confused about is are you trying to defend the PS4 being weaker than the Switch 2
it's
or
more it's no defense. It's more that we can't use that comparison because it's hard to because we're comparing 2 different code bases on
Mhm.
how they're optimizing the system hardware itself.
Yeah.
Right? We're not seeing the true maximum of the potential of the system through those games.
So
That's my thing. Because yeah.
because here's my take on what you're saying because the Switch 2 is ARM instruction set, and we do know that it takes a lot more to get something to run on ARM versus x86, which is the PS4 was x86 based, which is very similar to PC code, minus you get to do a little bit of the optimization that you can do on consoles. In my opinion, I think for it to be that powerful as an ARM using ARM instruction set, which no games really come out for it
Mhm.
outside of the few games that are available on Mac natively. I think it's a like a win, right? That you can get Cyberpunk 2077 or Final Fantasy 7 remake integrate working this good when compared to PS4, when people have said it over and over again, ARM is not made for gaming. You can't have beautiful gaming on hardware. And yes, we've seen it already before in Macs and stuff like that, but going on Nintendo, that was the biggest thing. The Nintendo Switch 1 being ARM, everybody was like, it's too weak, it can't do anything. And now we're seeing that a chip that runs 10 watts is able to do a lot more than, you know, I
A
don't know
console
how
that's
many
plugged into
watts.
a wall.
Yeah, that takes a lot more than 10 watts. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand what
Yeah, so like I get the argument you're getting, but to me, I think it kind of nulls because this is also a totally different instruction set, something that is known to be not as powerful as x86 base in raw performance, right? Um, so I think what they're doing with this system is pretty impressive. And if it's able to do this on that level in terms of the performance on an ARM chip, I'm curious to see how it goes in the future when they actually do better optimization on these games and see how far it can go. I think a
Mhm.
better, while I do agree with you, comparing it to older hardware is kind of like who cares. I think the Xbox Series S is one that's a better comparison because it's more modern, a more updated instruction set using RDNA 3, I think it has technology versus whatever it was on PS4. So I think that's a better comparison. And
Yeah, I think so too.
mhm, and we've already seen some of it, like with Street Fighter 6 and stuff like that, looking better on Switch 2 than Xbox Series S. Bryant, any words, any comments?
No, I've kind of checked out on this. You guys went a really long time on that. I couldn't. My attention span only goes so far.
Gotcha. No worries, no worries. Yeah, so I think it's one of those things that I am excited to see like what happens when the console fully comes out so we can get real like differences versus looking at trailers and trying to guess. Because I know some of the stuff that Digital Foundry counted pixel wise was saying like 900p on certain games, but you're watching something that's streamed, so like the quality is not going to be as good as something natively plugged into your TV or a monitor. So I'm excited to see where this goes, but the positivity we've seen so far on the Switch 2 has got me excited. Hopefully more AAA games that are available on PS5 and Xbox Series X come out on Nintendo Switch 2. I'm not expecting the same exact performance as them, but if I can play them, and heck, if they're better than the ROG Ally X or the Steam Deck, I'll take it.
They confirmed no achievements, which I'm
Mm-hmm.
so
Oh,
annoyed
really?
about because
They're
yeah,
already. Damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
because like I'm never gonna buy a third. Like I only like quadruple dip unless it's something I really care about. So
Mm-hmm.
like Lunar, I'm gonna get on everything. If it's a Mega Man game, I'm gonna get on everything. If it's a Final Fantasy game, I'm gonna get on everything. But if it's just like some random game that like, hey, you can play this portably on Nintendo Switch, I'm not buying it because I'd rather play it on Steam or on Xbox or on PlayStation where I get achievements. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, it's not achievements for me have nothing to do with the esteem that comes with, oh, I beat this game, I have a platinum trophy. For
Mm-hmm.
me, it's just one, I've 100%ed it, and or not 100%. Let's say you just get
Yeah.
like I don't know, 80% of them. I just like having a record of that and just having like an ability to go back like 6 years ago and look at my PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 3 trophies. Like, oh yeah, I remember October 2010. I was
Mm-hmm.
playing this game. Like I connected to events in my life,
Yeah.
and I just think it's really unfortunate because like it'd be so cool if Nintendo had a system like that and it went to like let's say Super Nintendo games, beat Mario World, and you can get an achievement for that and have a record for beating Mario World, and you could just have like a list of all the things you've beaten, the times you've beaten them. And that's just such a own goal that they don't have something like that. Like even
Mm-hmm.
if it's not as substantial as PlayStation's or Xbox's or Steam's, just something, because like that's what everybody else is doing, and I just feel like for Nintendo games it would just be so fun to have that extra degree of a
Mhm.
metagame. So it is unfortunate that it's not there.
I wonder if like that feature is just not baked into their operating system. You
I
know,
mean, they could have
I think
added it with a new version.
I think the achievements are mainly just on like it's not into the operating system. It's more connected to like a API within like their web services. I feel I feel like that's how they're doing it. It shouldn't be that hard issue to implement. But Brian, I do have a question to ask you. So let's we're gonna have a little scenario here. I already know you're gonna quad dip on Lunar, but let's say for example you don't feel like quad dipping Lunar. You wanted to get only one copy of Lunar, right? And assume that the Switch 2 is going to run this game better than you currently have the Steam Deck, right?
Of course.
Okay, because I know you have the Galaxy X, and then like I think you sold it and went back to the Steam Deck. So
Yeah,
all right,
I
so
realized how much I
let's
missed it.
yeah. So let's say let's assume that the Switch 2 is able to run Lunar better than the Steam Deck, right? Now at that point, right, you already know that we're not going to get achievements on the Switch, but you're able to get a physical copy and get all the bells and whistles onto the Switch 2, and the game is going to be able to run better compared to the Steam version or the Steam Deck version. Now, at that point, which version would you choose?
Steam Deck.
Interesting.
That's how important achievements are to me.
Got it. Okay.
See, to me, I mentioned this before that like I could care less about achievements, but I do get what you're saying. That I think it would be cool to like play, Super Mario 64 and have achievements on it. Like I
Yeah,
would
all
replay the
120
game,
stars,
yeah,
whatever.
just to do whatever the achievements might be. Like I would play because they do add some fun to a game that is already beaten. I will agree with that.
like a challenge to
Yeah,
add to the game.
Yeah.
because
And they
sometimes
could connect it like the platinum coins too,
Mhm.
because the platinum coins don't have any monetary value usually. Like they're just for like their swag
icons,
or for the icons and stuff. So they
yeah,
could connect achievements to platinum coins, and it would just be a
yes.
really cool way to get people into the ecosystem.
I was going to mention that because right now it's very hard to get platinum coins,
I
and
just spam Fire Emblem heroes, and I just put on auto battle, and I just rip
and
out
that's how you get them.
the coins that way. Yeah,
Man, I didn't know about that. I
Okay.
haven't played Heroes in a long time, but like
Interesting.
I'm low.
Same
Like
here.
I
it
used to have
works.
like 2,000 platinum coins, but I've been getting like every single icons that come out and
Me too.
everything, and that's really what's hurting me. Like I'm at the point where I'm picking and choosing which icons now because I don't want to run out of
Just
platinum
do Fire
coins.
Emblem Heroes. Just you can do auto battle,
Mhm.
and it beats the level for you. Goes to the next one. Click auto battle, and you can knock out 500 points in easily like 10-15 minutes.
Okay, I might have to play that.
I'm like
again.
now I'm like thinking already. Like remember earlier I said like they could just easily implement like achievements to like their web services.
Mhm.
They can easily because at that point they're if they Club Nintendo's still around, right? I'm assuming or not.
No, it's
No?
my Nintendo Rewards.
No, that's been
so
gone for a long time.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
like
It's
Wii U era.
Those were the good old
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
I remember. So like theoretically they can like somehow like fuse the benefits of Club Nintendo with my Nintendo like current not my Nintendo rewards and incentivize players to like get achievements for like games and stuff and earn coins with that.
Yeah.
And if you earn enough coins, like through just like through the Club Nintendo, you can like get posters, get like little knickknacks and stuff,
Yeah. Gold
and
coins are going
that
away.
gold coins are that's crazy. Like it's just I know all that stuff is all web service based. So like if they really wanted to, they don't have to touch the OS
Mhm.
of the Switch that much at all. I don't know. It could be in the works. They could implement it later on. Who knows? I don't know. So
Yeah, I mean, that would be nice. Like PlayStation didn't have, trophies, right? And then they added it to the PS3 later on in its life. So that'd be nice if they do it. Hopefully they do. Maybe a lot of people will voice their opinion on how much they want trophy or not trophies, but like achievements in general, and we can get it.
it's like the way I see it. For one thing, I love to use as bragging rights. But two, it's kind of like a to-do list and give you motivations to complete the game.
Yeah,
And
like
a lot of people,
it helps with replay value too. Like
yeah, it does. It definitely does.
I will play even though I'm gonna play Breath of the Wild again and Tears of the Kingdom, finish Tears of the Kingdom on Switch 2, this will give me another. If they had achievements, I would replay through Breath of the Wild from start to finish just to get like achievements. You know,
Okay,
maybe.
yeah.
While we're on that
Maybe.
subject of Breath of the Wild, you know how I've been defending Nintendo about like their price and
Mhm.
what they're charging, what you're getting, and all that.
I know where
The
you're
fact
going.
that that
Yeah.
expansion
Mhm.
isn't in Breath of the Wild 2 or Breath of the Wild for Switch 2 is so greedy. It's
Yeah.
so greedy. Like
That I
if you're
agree.
buying that game in the year of our
the actual expansion, like
Mhm.
when you're trying to like go through like the memories of like the champions and stuff, that's
Yeah.
not
with
part
the
of it.
motorcycle,
Yeah, the
that's
champion
not part of the
palette
Switch
and
2
the
version.
motorcycle. That's,
I didn't
that's
even know
not,
that.
That's not
Yeah.
included in the Switch 2 edition because all you're
Correct.
getting is the core game with the improvements.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
not
it's
getting.
like,
Yeah.
dude, in the year of our Lord 2025, that game came out 8 years ago. It's like
Wow.
make it the definitive edition with all the DLC and all the rest, and package it as a. If you want to charge extra, fine, it's $70. That's a beefy game. I don't mind paying that a little bit of extra. But the fact it's not there, what the hell?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait, okay, let's backtrack a little bit. Like, let's say, okay, so I mean, if you already order the expansion pass and you got
Yeah, if
the
you already have
upgrade,
it, that's
then you're
fine.
fine.
It's-
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
that's
fine.
fine.
It's
Yeah,
just for new people coming in. I'm
Correct.
assuming, right? Okay, yeah. Then at that point, yeah, that's it.
Because the expansion pass is $20.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, that is.
I thought,
Yeah,
okay.
I will not defend
I mean,
that.
it's. I'm like,
I agree. I
it's
thought that
DLC,
was
so it's
stupid.
whatever.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You know, yeah, in the sense to me, like it doesn't affect us because we all have the DLC. I don't have the DLC actually. I never bought it because I just didn't.
I mean,
wanna play it.
if you already
Yeah.
have NSO, then there you go.
Yeah. Well, you know, for the upgrade, but like I don't have the DLC. I
No,
never
no.
bought it. I'll never
think
buy it.
I think the Zelda expansion pass is part of the NSO plus expansion thing.
It's the upgrade.
I don't think so.
It's the upgrade.
upgrade
No,
is.
it's only the upgrade.
It-
Yeah, the
it's the
Mario
upgrade.
Kart expansion pass is part of NSO.
That comes with it.
And the
Oh,
Animal
yeah, yeah.
Crossing one. That's it.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh,
damn.
and
Okay,
Splatoon,
damn.
Splatoon 2 and Splatoon.
Oh,
3.
come on, lost
Yeah.
opportunity. They could have just added the Zelda. Okay.
Yeah, call it the definitive edition or whatever. Call it the Zelda. Call it Tears of the Kingdom definitive edition. Call it Breath of the Wild definitive edition. Sell them both for $70
You see,
or whatever. and that's
I was
it.
trying to play devil's advocate for this because I'm like, hey, if you already have an NSO plus expansion, you already have the expansion pass. You don't have to pay additional 20 bucks
Nope,
for
not in
the
this
Switch
case.
2. Dang, I'm like, damn, all right, Nintendo, you lost on that one.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, fun fact, I usually don't buy DLC unless I'm obsessed. I'm trying to think on Nintendo Switch, what DLC have I bought? None. I think I haven't bought any DLC on Nintendo Switch.
Wow,
Not even Fire
I'm a
Emblem.
sucker. I like having completed stuff.
Yeah, not even any of the Fire Emblem. I've never bought any of the DLC.
Wow, that's
Yep.
something for you.
I don't know. It's
Would you
just like when
count?
yeah, what was that?
Would you count as Xenoblade 2 Torn of the Golden Country as DLC? I don't know because that one has its own physical and you don't have to play along with. Or the base game's not required.
Okay, so
know,
I mean,
Did you not buy
technically,
any character DLC on Smash?
that's true. I did buy all those characters on Smash, so I did do that. That's right.
Boom, fan
Yeah.
got you.
In fighting games, they usually get me. That's usually the genre that gets me on buying DLC is fighting game.
Which is why I don't really play fighting games as much because, man, I feel like people keep forgetting that fighting games are are so freaking expensive compared to other games. It's just
Yeah,
crazy.
but at the end, you're spending more than $60 on a fighting
Yeah,
game because of all the
yeah,
characters they add after.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
think of Soul
Yeah.
Calibur.
They just showed the.
Soul
Because each
Calibur has,
season pass is
5
like
different-
$20-$25, and there's like
Yeah.
6 of them.
Mhm.
And I
They
have
just
so
showed
many
the Elena
friends.
DLC too.
Yeah, and they show I have so many friends that they're trying to get me to play Guilty Gear Strive, but like every time I look at that deluxe edition, I'm like, bro, it's like $80 to $90. I'm not paying that, man. Especially if it's a fighting game that you like. If in order, like in my opinion, in order for you to like fully enjoy a fighting game, you got to be like at least decently good at the game to fully enjoy it. Which if you're not good at it, then at that point, there's got to be something else there for me. Maybe a story, maybe like something else I can do, like. Something.
Hey, Lucy from Cyberpunk Edge Runners is in that deal in the next DLC for Guilty Gear Strive, which is pretty dope.
That's interesting. Oh yeah, I did forget about that. Yeah, that's cool.
Speaking of, we're gonna go off topic real quick. Has anybody else here started watching Lazarus yet?
No,
Nope.
What's
haven't
that
heard
about?
good things.
It's made by the
IGN gave it
creator
a
of Cowboy-
middling review, so I was kind of worried.
No, the first episode was pretty good. Like it starts off really good. I like the premise of it. It's
Yeah, it's a
from
cool
the creator
premise.
of Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, that show. Yeah, I had a
Yeah.
friend that was showing me that. Like, so what you think of it? Is it pretty?
I liked it.
Is it starting off strong? Yeah. Because I love me some Cowboy Bebop. Like, who doesn't like Cowboy Bebop? I forgot that show was coming out. So
Yeah.
and but that's on Netflix, right?
No, it's I
Like
don't know where you
Crunchyroll, I'd
watch it.
assume.
No, it's not on Crunchyroll either.
Oh,
I
then
don't.
where'd you watch it?
I watched it on.
Hmm.
Well, I have Spectrum for free here. So like the on-demand stuff, I just went to the Adult Swim channel and then watched it on there.
Oh, it's
It's on
dope.
Adult
Okay.
Swim? That's
Mhm.
random.
Yeah,
I
Adult
mean-
Miss, I guess. Adult Miss. Adult Swim, I guess, helped paid to create the anime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is
So
it
probably
isn't
HBO Max, I
isn't
would assume.
is it
It looks
modern
like it's on
Toonami
Max.
still there?
Say what?
Is
Looks
it
like it's on
modern?
Max.
Is it modern Toonami still there?
It's yeah, Toonami, because it's under Toonami, but it says Adult Swim
Yeah.
is Toonami. Because you have Tom come out and everything. Okay, so the thing that gets me mad about this anime is that the main character is definitely exactly like Spike or Mugen, right? Because he writes his main characters to be like those types, and it not being Steve Blum's voice kind of gets me mad because he's
Mm.
literally
Oh
will
yeah,
do a good job.
I see what you mean,
Mhm.
but like I don't know what it is when it comes to like releasing like a spiritual successor of a previous a previous IP.
Mhm.
It feels like they just want to move on to like an entirely different cast when doing so, which
Well, I mean,
like
he
I
was
can understand
the-
your frustration.
it would've been the
No, it's
trio,
not just
man.
him. It's not just him. It's like other IP, other spiritual successors I've been
Yeah.
noticing too. That like hey, man, this character looks and feels like just other character. Maybe they should just recast that same actor to do this, but they don't.
But
you
they
know?
did it twice. They did it for Mugen and they did it for Spike because the way he writes the main
Who's Mugen?
character. Mugen
He's
is
from
Samurai Champloo.
Samurai Champloo.
Samurai
Samurai
Champloo,
Champloo. Gotcha.
one of the best anime I ever watched in my life. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Never
And
seen it.
Which
You
if
never
people
seen it?
don't.
Highly recommend.
Oh
really,
man,
really good.
that's a hood classic. That's
Yeah,
a
that
hood
was one of
classic
my
right there, man. You gotta
favorite
watch that.
I
Bro, that.
So I was so
it's-
into
it's-
Samurai Champloo, I bought the UMD disc and I would play him on my PSP.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
how into
so-
I was.
Okay, that's a fan right there. If you bought the
Yeah.
UMD.
bit of a backstory, but the main guy that did most of the music for Samurai Champloo, his name is New Jabas, which is he was kind of like the guy that trailblazed the popularity of lo-fi music
Yep.
and stuff, and nobody really knows about that. Which I'm like, I wish they kind of credit him for
If
that.
you- the
Which
whole
all started from
soundtrack.
Samurai Champloo. Yeah.
Samurai Champloo, the whole soundtrack, literally everything's like lo-fi. Amazing
Yes.
soundtrack. I bought the soundtrack
Yes.
too because I loved it. Like if you like lo-fi music, you have to play or
Yeah,
watch
it's-
Samurai Champloo because
It all started with him.
Yep.
Which that soundtrack is a freaking banger, and I wish like the people that like listen to lo-fi and stuff knew about him, because like when I ask them, hey, you know about this guy, they're like, no, really, not really. I'm like, what, really? And they also watch anime too, and I'm
Yep.
like, bro, you haven't seen Samurai Champloo? I'm like,
Yep.
Is
And
Ash
I-
cutting out or is it just me?
Maybe just you. He's
Am-
not cutting out for me.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, damn, because I'm close. I'm up close. Like, so, but it's just, yeah, man. Definitely give it a shot, Brian. I mean, it's a hood classic, like I said before. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I recommend Lazarus watch it. Sorry for being off topic there, but
yeah, no problem, no
We
problem. It
mentioned
was a
that,
good, it was a good topic. It was a good topic. It's fine. It's fine.
yeah, and music is good. The guy who's doing the music, I forgot what his name is. But he does like a lot of like saxophone work, so it is very jazzy for the music,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Yeah, to be expected. Yeah, I'll definitely give it a shot. I'll try to find a
Yeah.
outlet or avenue. Find
Yeah, I
it.
don't know why.
to watch.
What did IGN give it?
I think a
It sounds like it's
five.
on 5. Oh, 5. Man, screw IGN.
Yeah,
Like,
I would
who
give it a
cares?
5. I think it sets up pretty good. I mean, I would say like a 7. The fight scenes alone are amazing. Like the choreograph is the guy who did the John Wick choreography for the movies. He helped out with the anime choreography in there. So like the fight scenes are done really, really good.
But listen, there are two things where like 2 reasons why I don't really care about IGN anymore.
Hmm.
One reason, Pokemon Omega Ruby FSR, because too much water.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the
It had
second
some questionable reviews for sure.
and then the second one, which people tend to forget, is when one of the journalists was trying to demo out Cuphead and they gave it a bad review because they couldn't get capacity tutorial level. I'm like, brother, no.
I didn't even know
I think
that, yeah.
yeah, it was that bad. I'm like, no. I'm at this point, yeah, we're not gonna hear from y'all anymore at this point. Like, because y'all's credit just that's for me. That's my opinion. So, but yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and end this with what we've been playing real quick before we end the stream. Let's start with you, Ash, because I know you wanting to talk about this game that you played not that long ago.
Oh yeah, mouthwashing. Yeah, shortest game I ever played. At max is like around 3.5 hours long, of course. And I have to say is that I had to run through the game the second time to like fully understand on like what were the implications here, because like I got a lot of hints, especially from a certain female character, which I feel so bad for. But because this is like one of the few games where the writers in here really like achieve like the highest form of psychological horror. They really went in deep depths of like two characters specifically on how they view certain things, on how it wind up the way it was within the game itself. It's really good, and how like it's really, they did really good narrative when it came to the psychological horror aspect. I mean, it's scary, of course, but like when you look at like the finer details on like what they implemented, now you're stepping back, second guessing. You're like, oh, wait a minute, do they actually meant this and that? Like, it's really good game. It's like it practically is one of the best $12 I ever spent for a while. And like, and I went, and the thing is, like, I remember Brian talking about what mouthwashing, and I wanted to give it a try later on. So I literally went to Steam, and I'm like, oh wait, mouthwashing, that game. I'm gonna buy it right now and play it. Looked up how long to beat, 3.5 hours. Bet I could beat this in one sitting. Did it, and I'm like, wow. That is cinema. That's really damn good. And the thing is, the other thing too, I love the graphics. I'm a sucker for PS1 graphics. I get that. But hey, listen, I love the PS1 graphics aesthetic that they did. So I love it. I love it a lot. I highly recommend it. 10 out of 10. It's great. It's amazing. And then the game I recently finished, or the DLC I recently finished, correction, is the Elden Ring Shadow of the Earth Tree DLC, which thank God I finally finished that, man. I have to say is that when it comes to the bosses, they are definitely formidable, especially the final boss. And I'll have to say that's actually the hardest Souls boss I ever fought in any Souls game, and which says a lot. So I'm like, okay, hats off to you. Which I don't know if you guys like, I don't know if you guys seen any controversy when the DLC first released.
Yeah,
but yeah, they had to nerf him. They had to nerf him a bit. So that's how hard he was. But I managed to beat his ass by myself. When it comes to Souls games, I love to play all these by myself. I don't want to summon anyone or any of that of sort, and I feel extremely good about it. So thank God I'm done with that. Now, since that was the last RPG I completed, I'm just going to go through all my backlog that's non-RPG, and eventually finish with that. So I know Alan Wake is one of them, and right now I'm currently playing Lunar Good Two Shoes, which is another psychological horror game that's really heavily inspired of the Salem Witch Trials, and heavily inspired by Sailor Moon because of the art itself. It's like literally Sailor Moon inspired. So I'm playing that right now, and that I should be done with that with half. So, but yeah, it's been fun.
All right. What about you, Fan?
Yeah, about go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Brian. Yeah.
I just wanted to talk about mouthwashing for a second.
Yeah.
I wanted to see if you agreed with like just how where the title comes from, mouthwashing. It's just so like dark, like where that comes from, like what they're doing.
I didn't look through into the title, because like when you said that, I was trying to like research to see if there was like a similar thing to it, but I couldn't find it or something like that. But
it's just the fact they're getting drunk on mouthwash because they're so
that's what
like,
that's what I thought
so
it was. Funny enough, I felt like that when I was first playing it, when they were like drinking that shit down, that stuff down. I was thinking that the reason why that was happening was because all of them were hallucinating and stuff. But that wasn't really the case at that.
No, they're doing it because they realize they're gonna die, and they're trying to they're trying to get drunk to like make the end come easier. It's very
Hey,
dark.
Hey, it kills 99.9% of the germs, except for the 0.1%, which is a good title for that game. Listen, it's crazy. Like, if you love story enriched games like this, I highly recommend. So that's it's
And
just
then
crazy.
the part towards the end, it's probably the grossest part in the whole game. At the very end of it, don't want to give it away because it's just so crazy.
Yeah,
when you get to it.
it's kind of nasty.
It's where something is going through something.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so messed up. It's probably one of the most messed up things I've ever experienced in a game.
Yeah, I'm just like, mad. Holy crap. And like through all the Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there's a lot of
insane.
messed up stuff in that game, but it's cool. It's definitely worth playing through.
Yeah, highly
All right,
recommend.
go ahead, Fan.
Yeah, sorry, Fan. Fan's like thinking about it. He's like, I don't know.
What have you been playing, Fan?
He doesn't know.
Hades?
Hades? Okay.
Hades? Okay.
Yeah. I jump back into it.
Fair. Fair. I gotta pick up Hades too. I haven't played that. I know it receives high praise from some friends I have.
So I probably put about like 40 hours into that game so far.
Mm-hmm.
I know it has extremely good replayability. So
I've only beaten the boss twice.
I am probably going to hold off on that game for a bit because it feels like that game is going to be a while to fully complete too. So I just realized.
What boss did you beat twice, Fan?
Hades.
Oh, so you've beaten the game?
Yeah, but I've only beaten him twice because even after you beat him, the story keeps progressing. So you get sent back to hell. I've
never even gotten that far.
Yeah,
I've only gotten to the okay, because the first level is like there's like red lava and stuff, and the second the first level is the first level, and then I remember the second level it's like a bunch of like lava and like it's like red and stuff. Then and then the third level is like kind of like heavenly looking kinda. Yeah, and that's as far as I got. I never could get further.
Yeah, there's one more level above that, and that's where you're.
Oh, that's it. Just one more.
There's one more level, and then once you beat that level, you fight the boss. You fight Hades.
Oh, okay. I thought I was I thought I was way not even close to being done, so I kind of gave up.
There's only 4 levels, but like since you have so many different weapons, right? The goal is to kill every boss with each weapon because it gives you like the Titan blood and like the certain items that you can use to upgrade your weapons. So like that's why there's a lot of replayability into it. And like I like mix and match like abilities and stuff like that, so I have an idea of like what I like and what works well. But like again, I've put like 30-40 hours into the game and I've only beaten Hades twice. So that's kind of like how hard it is.
A bit of a side thing I forgot to mention for both both Fan and James. Since your parents, I recommend if you do decide to play mouthwashing, make sure you have that door locked so your kids don't walk in.
Yeah, they'll freak out.
Whatever it is you're doing, please.
I mean, 90% of the games I play is on my handhelds anyway, so yeah.
Even around your wife. I want to know if your wife what's the question
what
you're
the hell
playing.
is this?
Yeah. Even around your wife.
Play Resident Evil and stuff like that.
Oh, it's worse than
mouthwashing is worse than Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Way worse. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's just the psychological horror aspect. The way they do it makes it more worse than Resident Evil.
Okay.
In my opinion. So yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
We'll see if I pick it up. Because like you, there's a lot of games that I want to go back to. For sure. Brian, what have you been playing?
Three things mainly. I've just been itching for Grandia, so I started playing Grandia on PlayStation 5. Nice. It's such a cool game because it's just the battle system is really cool. It's very fun. Like I would purposely get into battles in that game because I think the battle system is just very rewarding and it's kind of addicting. Just the movement and how things feel when you kill them and stuff like that. And the story is kind of Final Fantasy IX-esque in the fact that it's just a very simple story about a boy who's an adventurer and he wants to find like a lost civilization. Like there's nothing crazy or really melodramatic about it yet anyway. So I've been playing Grandia. The music's also really good and it's just a I'm sorry, what'd you say?
What console or what device are you playing on?
It's a PlayStation 4 game, and I'm playing it on Steam Deck through remote play. Okay, mostly. Gotcha. Like I'll play it in bed. It's a great chill out game in bed. Still continuing my Final Fantasy VI playthrough. I'm kind of breaking it up a little bit because after, like slightly before and after getting to the world of ruin, when that happens in the game, the difficulty spike it gets really intense, and
Oh, really? Interesting.
I for me, like maybe I didn't grind enough. Like I mean, I never ran away from a fight in that game, and I felt like
No,
I
it does spike
fought a
up.
lot. It does, but
Mhm.
something I didn't realize, that again, it's one of those things that kind of goes back to how old school games didn't tell you everything, is that I didn't realize that when you assign espers to your characters, that you learn abilities, kind of like Final Fantasy 9 or 8 or 9, I guess, in different ways. Where
Mhm.
like if you equip Shiva to Terra, she'll learn like what do you call it? Ice? No, what do you call it? Uh, Not fire,
Blizzard.
blizzard,
Yeah.
blizzara, blizzaga, and then like once you have enough experience, like you learn those spells completely, and then you don't need to have the summon equipped anymore. And so you're
Mhm.
supposed to like go through and equip all the summons to all your characters so they learn all these spells and stuff. And I haven't been
Mhm.
doing that. I've just been kind of keeping them on one person and just kind of like using the spells as they come, or
Yeah.
using the Esper abilities.
Mhm.
And I wish I would have known that you're supposed to kind of like swap them out to learn all these spells, because I bet I would probably be having an easier time. But now I'm doing that. I'm still like I said, I think I'm probably like three-fourths done with the game at this point after the
Mhm.
World of Ruin and getting your friends back and stuff, and just kind of looking at like what a walkthrough looks like, and it looks like I'm probably three-fourths done. I need to beat it to say for sure, but again, it does not touch Chrono Trigger for me, because for Chrono Trigger, like I loved every second of that game, and I finished it and I didn't want to stop. And
Yeah.
6, I'm having to break it up and play Grandia, play something else, go back to it, and I will finish it. It is a great game. It's still a Final Fantasy game, so there's still quality. It's a classic, but I definitely think it's overhyped, especially compared to Chrono Trigger. And I don't know how anybody can possibly say that Chrono Trigger hasn't aged better than
Oh,
Final Fantasy
yeah.
6
Chrono
has.
Trigger is definitely up to, and especially of age. It's the most modern
Yes,
retro game you can
in every
play.
way.
Yeah.
Because
And
Oh,
the
yeah,
battle
yeah.
system is
mhm.
a lot. It's very active. The story is super fun and
Mhm.
original, and there's all these paths you can take, and it's very interesting. And 6 is just like, Kefka's a really great bad guy, and there's some really
Yeah.
messed up stuff that happens in it. But the main problem I have with the story and with the characters is that I feel like there's way too many of them, and a lot of them lack characterization.
Mhm.
Like I couldn't tell you the personality differences between Edgar and Sabin and their brothers. I couldn't tell you what kind of personality Celis has. Terra kind of has a personality.
Well,
I
I
can kind
mean
of get behind that.
that I feel like, because Edgar is more of
Edgar's a
the
womanizer. That's all I know about him,
yeah,
really. He's
exactly.
kind of
He's more
show.
of like
He's kind of a
the playboy,
yeah. He's a playboy.
where Sabin is more
It's a
like
meathead.
yeah, he's a meathead. He's more serious, but he's also like the buff guy, like, and everything like that. So a little bit different. Like they have personality. That
I don't know.
you
I just feel like you have to
I
fill in a
guess
lot of the blanks.
I guess it feels like they're like we're more one dimensional to you, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say like, Cyan, I guess is kind of like the Steiner character, like he's all about like duty and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But I can't really tell much about Celis. I guess Locke is just kind of like a rogue, I suppose. But I don't know. I just feel like because there's so many characters, there's not enough room for them to have dialogue to really grow into what they're supposed to
Yeah.
be, and you're kind of left to fill in
Mhm.
the blanks as to like
Oh,
what
just
you
wait,
think they
dude.
are.
Just wait.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, just wait.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll be the first to say I'm wrong for sure.
I think
No,
that's a
I'm
And
more
you're
threat.
saying
I
like
of
think
like
no.
I think he's
If you
threatening you.
think
He's saying just wait.
now,
Like
if you think now there's too many characters, just wait.
oh, really? Because I've gotten Mog, Cyan, Sabin, Edgar, Terra, Locke. Um, what else? Setzer, is that his name?
mhm.
The
Yeah.
yeah, blackjack guy.
Mhm.
Okay.
Is
Kingdom
that?
Hearts guy.
And then there's the blue mage, the old guy, and then the portrait artist girl. I don't
Okay.
remember
You
their
got
names. Oh, and then there's
the
Gao too.
yeah. So you got Gal as well.
Yeah, so 10.
Hmm.
That's 10. There's more than that too.
You got
You're missing Shadow.
yeah. I was say
Oh,
Shadow.
Shadow kind of like comes and goes. He's not like a permanent member, at least yet.
He should have been
He will
But
if he stood with you. I think after the Phantom Train or before. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
After the Forest, he should have been a permanent member.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I screwed something up in my playthrough. I haven't been
It's
playing
a
this with a
it's like
walkthrough because
a low percent chance that if he doesn't stick with you, then then he's not
yeah.
permanent.
Okay, I
But
probably
I
screwed something up.
restarted that time like so many times until he stood with me throughout the whole time.
Yeah,
Did
there's
you
like
okay.
there's the like
Hmm?
Yeti type character that
I don't think I've gotten him yet. The Yeti?
yeah.
No, I don't think
You have the
so.
two magic people, right? The that Strago you said, right?
The old guy
Yeah.
and
And
his
then
his like granddaughter or
his
something.
granddaughter. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you at
So
least
you're just missing like
suplex?
one or two people, and that's about it.
Oh,
Yeah, I did
suplex.
suplex the train.
Thank God. All right.
Yeah, of course I did. I'm not an animal, Ash. And then
I hope not.
lastly, I just started playing South of Midnight today because that
Mhm.
really always looked interesting to me based on those Xbox conferences and stuff. And haven't gotten too far into it, but I just really like the fact that the perspective is so different. Like a black female character, like how many games can you name that has that kind of story to it? Like in the Bayou, with that kind of like just kind of world and everything. Like it's very original. It's very cool. And I'm really enjoying I haven't really gotten too much in the combat, but the game is really pretty and the art style is cool. It's almost like a Wallace and Gromit kind of
Mhm.
like stop motion kind of looking thing, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm really looking forward to continuing to go through it. I just haven't been feeling great today, so I've kind of like slept a couple times. But yeah, I'm
Mhm.
definitely gonna keep playing that in between Grandia and Final Fantasy VI.
The game you just mentioned, I heard people that they were able to run the Steam Deck well. I don't know if you're playing off the Steam Deck or not.
No, I'm on Xbox Series X.
Okay, got it. And then for the other comment you had about like a black female lead, I think the main character in Forspoken is
Yeah.
I think
That's
she's
true.
mixed. I think she's mixed.
Yeah,
I
the
think
main
she's half
character,
half
the main
black, half
character. That's the main character in South of Midnight is also half and half too.
yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
But was
Okay.
Forspoken good?
Still,
No. I just
Depends
didn't,
on who you ask.
I just didn't like the dialogue. If,
don't
if they
tell
would
Geek loves Forspoken, so
I played the
No.
demo when it was out, and it was decent.
Mhm.
I would say this, if the game was a lot more optimized on PCs, because in my personal opinion, I feel like the combat and like the mechanics were fun as heck,
Mhm.
and that was like that game was the last of the Luminous engine, which
Mhm.
that was the same engine that did FF15 and stuff.
Mhm.
So I'm
it
just
was
like
also
awesome.
designed by Tabata, which is why I stayed away from it.
It was that.
Tabata
Yeah,
was
who's
the
that?
guy who ruined Final Fantasy 15. So
Oh, I mean,
yeah,
didn't how some of the designs ruined it, if anything. Like what
There you go.
does what kind of design did he ruin personally? Are you
Everything.
talking about like the art direction? Like
No, well, art direction.
It's a beautiful
no.
game.
Yeah, it's beautiful, but everything else, the combat system,
Yeah, the battle system.
story,
Yeah,
oh,
like,
that's
the
what you
story.
meant. Okay, yeah, story. Yeah, that I agree with. Okay, I was like,
Yeah.
the art looks like it's not the best.
It's
But
beautiful.
it's like
I mean,
it's
the
like
art
a
was
7.5
done
to an
by-
8. Yeah,
Yeah, but because the art was done by Nomura, so they kept his artwork and everything there.
yeah, that's fine.
But
Yeah.
like the battle design, he dumbed it down. He the story, he broke it apart into different medians, and it took
Which
away
he
story
which he
beats
didn't
and
have to.
all that.
He didn't
Yeah.
have to do that. Yeah,
Mhm.
he didn't
The
have
story
to do
had
that. That
so
makes
much
sense.
potential too. That's what really bums me out about 15 is there's
Yeah.
so much cool stuff in there, but they just I don't know, man. It's just
Here-
got really hokey.
Here's the problem with FF15 story is that they made it overly sophisticated for no reason, because the story was simple, but the way they did the writing made it overly sophisticated, and for no reason they broke it apart to separate different mediums that you have to look at so that we can understand the timeline. And what's the worst thing about this is that they made the separate paths of the other brothers DLC. I'm like, which is technically part of the main game, which may like it doesn't, bro. It's the what gets me is that when we finally meet up with Gladius, Noctis asks, "How'd you get the scar?"
Yeah.
Gladius asks, "Oh, it's nothing." It's nothing. And then don't get me started with Ignis. How now the homie is literally blind.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me that we don't get that within the base game when it came out, that we don't know what Ignis did while Noctis was somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
Because he literally had to use the. I can't say too much, honestly,
Yeah.
but it's just, man.
And then the Luna Freya romance was really like forced, and it had no emotional weight when that stuff happened.
I couldn't get with that either. It's just I feel like the
Luna
early
Freya was
adopters.
added. So remember, Stella was the original female protagonist for Final Fantasy.
Yes,
15.
I remember.
Luna Freya was added by Tabata again, and they did away with.
Is Stella the girl in the city?
Yeah, in the city that she does. She has the same
Okay.
powers as Noctis. Because she's also like the same thing that Noctis was originally supposed to be, which was a crystal bearer, which I guess technically he is because he has the power of the kings, right? But they were supposed to be crystal bearers. And the crystal is actually on the hilt of their weapons. So like the original reason Noctis could bring out weapons out of like the ether was because he holds the crystal, and the crystal allows him to do whatever he wants. But she was also the same thing, and the original story was more Romeo and Juliet, kind of, where they're opposite families, right? It was very inspired by Romeo and Juliet, and their love interest was supposed to be a conflict as well because they're enemies, but they also fall in love with each other. So, yeah.
Here's the thing. I mean, I can't blame everything on Tabitha, but you have to remember that Square Enix wanted Tetsuya to work on Kingdom Hearts 3, which, by the way, that didn't pan. That and Square Enix. It's not just Tabitha, it's also Square Enix.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, because
but still,
15 was literally Nomura's baby, but they took that away from him. So let's get that straight. Square Enix forced him to do Kingdom Hearts 3, which, by the way, that game is heavily divided.
Yeah,
I mean, unless you want to argue the Remind DLC, which that should have been already included in the base game.
He hated the game. Like he not hated as in like he hated the game. He worked, I guess, right? You know, like when you go to work and you're like pissed off and you're like, oh, I don't want to do this, but I want to do it anyway. He did that
literally,
the whole time.
He literally vent out his frustrations in the Remind DLC, which is hilarious to me. So it's just. It's both Tabitha and Square Enix. If Square Enix didn't intervene, I'm pretty sure Tabitha would not able to even layer his or her fingers. I forgot onto the game itself. So that's my whole thing with.
Want to hear more about Final Fantasy 15 or Final Fantasy Versus 13, which is the original one? I have a video on there that I'm pretty sure if you've seen this channel, looked at this, you've seen that video because that is my most popular video on this channel. I'm a huge believer that Nomura's version of Final Fantasy 15 was still probably could have been the best Final Fantasy ever if it didn't get ruined, unfortunately, by both Square and Tabitha. Tabitha still is still.
And let's hope Kingdom Hearts 4 is great.
I mean, I trust Nomura. I trust Nomura a lot. A lot of people like to hate on Nomura, but Kingdom Hearts has always been good.
I trust Nomura too. I trust Nomura. It's just treat him right, I just hope he's still not mad about what happened in the past.
Oh, he is.
And that doesn't vent it on Kingdom Hearts 4,
Yeah. A lot of interviews he's vented on that. Like he's upset. He's hoping to come out with a Verum Rex game, and that's gonna be his Final Fantasy 15. I mean, we had what's that game called? Shoot, I wanted to get it, I never got it. It reminded me of Final Fantasy Versus 13.
What game were you talking about? You're trying to think of?
It's a game that came out
Describe
recently.
it to me. For what?
It looks like Final Fantasy Versus 13 did. You have like a male protagonist and a female protagonist. Like she's wearing white. The male protagonist is like he looks just like any other Nomura.
It's a Square Enix game?
It's the original team that was working on Final Fantasy Versus 13. Or not the original, but some of that team worked on this game.
Do you know what they're called?
What the name of like the group or
company? Yeah.
No, it's a brand new company.
Okay, and it came out already?
Let me look at my wish list and see.
Yeah, look it up. I'm curious.
Where the heck's my wish list? I want to say it starts with an R, but I might be wrong. What is that game called? There's a demo. There's a demo, and I played it, and it's pretty good. Definitely not to the quality because it is a smaller team working on it. Not to the quality of like, say what a Final
It's
Fantasy
an RPG?
Yeah,
Yeah, you gotta tell me.
Yeah, Yoko Shimomura came for the music. And like I said, the devs are X there, and they actually had blessings from Nomura too to kind of borrow from what Versus 13 originally had going on. Let me see.
Yoko Shimura did the soundtrack for it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ray Natus, mostly positive
Oh,
too.
never
It's
even heard of that.
on Steam, $60. Yeah, they showed it off at a Nintendo Direct. Oh, it was on the Japanese Nintendo Direct. And I remember I got so upset that I didn't do a video on it because I saw it right away. I was like, oh man, this game looks amazing. It looks like Final Fantasy Versus 13. And then people started posting it like the next day on like Twitter about the game that it reminded them of Versus 13. But it's not bad. Like I played the demo, and the demo was pretty fun. I really enjoyed it. It has a interesting system going on, but yeah, it's mostly positive.
Mm,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. The new
Wait,
company
wait,
is Furyu Corporation.
wait. What's the game called again? I'm sorry.
Raynatis or Raynatis,
Oh,
Reynatis. If you just
okay,
look on
okay.
Steam, you can look it up. It's there.
Cool.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept in Shibuya, of course.
Oh,
Yeah.
that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. And I guess for me, what I've been playing is really nothing. This move has like beat me, so I've just been still very busy. I try to dabble in Xenoblade Chronicles X when I can, but at this point, I'm just thinking like, should I even play my Switch? Should I wait for the Switch 2? I really just want the Switch 2 to come out. For for stupid reasons, but I want to play Wind Waker. That's really what's all been in my head is Wind Waker and then Bravely Default. I've been trying to get a copy of Bravely Default 2 because I've been wanting to get it for the longest time. And it's just like every time it goes on sale, I just forget about it. And then it's like when I do
Goes on
want
sale
it, it's
digitally
not
or
on sale.
physically?
Hmm?
Goes on sale digitally or physically?
So physically, it's like impossible to find.
Oh, okay. You're
Yeah,
talking
like
digitally.
everywhere is sold out. Digitally you can find it. I was looking like on Mercari and stuff like that, and they had it for like $25 for Bravely Default 2. So I thought about buying it for them, because it's the physical disc. But like part of me is debating now because Bravely Default 1 HD remaster or Bravely Default 1, whatever they're calling it,
Key,
is
isn't it?
huh?
Isn't it a key?
Yeah, it's the game card
Yeah.
key. So it's technically digital anyway. So I'm like, should I really buy physical and just should I just get digital and call it a day? But like I'm trying to
Honestly,
do like math in my head and see if it's worth it.
if Square Enix like later on says, "Hey, if we're gonna release Bravely Default HD to like the Steam or Steam store or
They
something like
will.
that," I'm probably
Yeah.
just gonna go to the Steam store and get it.
Yeah.
I mean, Bravely
Because
Default 2 on Switch on Amazon is like $48 right now.
That's actually not
It's a
bad.
physical.
Is it new or you're used?
It says new.
Okay.
Yeah. What's interesting is that when you were talking about that in the other chat, I did look it up at work, and I was like, oh, it's right there. It's $48 or something. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. I guess
but
when it comes to Amazon, I get afraid of buying stuff from like third party sellers, right? It's not still
Yeah.
on
oh
Amazon. It's a third party seller.
yeah, I see what you mean. I get that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I look at
but like
reviews and all that.
yeah, it just really depends if like Square Enix decides to let the Bravely Default 1 HD to stay on the Switch 2 only or something like that. And if they decide to, because the original Bravely Default on 3DS stayed on the 3DS, so it's like it's like a 50-50 whether they're going to do it or not. It would make sense for them to move to other platforms, especially if they already have Bravely Default 2 already multiplied already.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just hoping for them to move it over to the Steam store so I can just play off my Steam.
Yeah.
Because that'll be a really good Steam game. The Steam Deck games.
Well, I missed out. Yeah, it was a couple times. It was $30, $30 on Green Man Gaming. So I missed out a couple times on Green Man Gaming for Bravely Default 2. But then I'm definitely gonna get Bravely Default HD on Switch at launch, which it will not be available on Steam at launch. I'm like, if I'm gonna get it there, kind of do like what Bryant does, kind of like if it's I've already have on one platform, I kind of want to have everything on that same platform. I don't want to go ahead and have my games mixed in different platforms, which is sometimes why I buy
That's not what I
multiple
do. I
versions.
I quadruple dip. I buy
Well,
them on all kinds of. Are you saying
true.
like
No, I'm
being
saying
more
like let's
specialized?
yeah, like let's say so you tell me you don't do this, like let's say I'm trying to think of a game. Let's just say a game is exclusive on Nintendo Switch. and then part 2 is multi-platform. Would you choose to buy it on Nintendo Switch so you have both games on one console, or would you just buy one game on one console and then another game on another console? Give an example: Bayonetta, right? Bayonetta 1 is available like on PS3, 360, right, and PC, but Bayonetta 2 is only available on Nintendo Switch. So let's say, I guess it's a bad example because the second game came out on multi-platform, and the first game technically
No,
wasn't available on Switch.
no, the second game isn't multi-platform. Second game only
Yeah.
came out on Wii U and Switch.
Well, I'm saying like it's
Yeah.
the reverse of what I was thinking, right? Because I'm
Oh,
thinking
okay.
let's pretend Bayonetta 1 was Switch exclusive, and then Bayonetta 2 was available
Okay.
like on PS5 and Nintendo Switch. Would you buy it on
Mhm.
PS5 or would you buy it on Nintendo Switch just to have both games on the same platform?
It depends on the property. Bayonetta, I'm passionate about where I'll
Mhm.
buy it on everything. But if it's something where I'm just kind of like, oh, here's a good example. That what's it called? Neo Dimension. No, what's it called?
The World Ends with You,
That
or the World Ends with You.
no,
Yeah.
not World's Ends with You. That no, the that RPG that was on Apple Arcade and all that. What's it called again?
Fantasian.
Fantasian, yeah.
Yeah.
So I bought Fantasian on PC. That's kind of what I was playing
Mhm.
through it on, and then I bought it on PlayStation. I'm not buying it on Switch because there's no other games that are Fantasian, so I'm not like obligated to keep
Mhm.
like I don't want to start a thing of buying Fantasian games on Switch. Like I'm just gonna keep it on PlayStation and PC. But like if they released oh, here's a good example. Like when they release Remake
Mhm.
on Switch, since I have all the other Final Fantasy games on Switch, I'm gonna get Remake on Switch, and I'll get
Yeah.
Rebirth on Switch as well. It just really depends on how passionate I am about the property. But if
Mhm.
it's just like one-off stuff, then I'll keep it to either PlayStation or PC, and that's kind of
Okay.
how I roll.
Yeah. So I guess it's similar to what I'm thinking. Like if I buy a game, I like to keep just all of them in the same, unless I rebuy the game, right? So like Octopath Traveler 1, I bought Octopath Traveler 2 on Switch because I have one already on Switch. So I didn't bother buying it on PC, even though I wanted to. Triangle Strategy, I bought it on Switch, but because I was Switch exclusive. I did rebuy it again on PC, but that was because of a different issue there. But a lot of games, like I look at it, I'm like, well, if I have the game on, Switch, and the sequel comes out on PC, I'll probably just stick to the Switch, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's why I'm thinking of getting Bravely Default 2 on Switch, just so I have it on one platform and I won't have them scattered around different platforms, unless I double dip and buy them on multiple platforms. Hence, Final Fantasy 7 Remake and Rebirth, right? I owned it on PlayStation, I also owned it on PC, and I almost
You'll
still
get
own
it
it
on
on
Switch,
Switch.
you
Yeah,
will. Yeah.
because of that. Final
I'll
Fantasy.
wait for it to go on sale though.
Mhm.
I'm not buying it at full price. No way.
Yeah. And like you, a lot of my Final Fantasy games are also on Switch. Minus
Mhm.
9, but I have 8, 10, 12, I guess
Do you have
13
the Pixel
also.
remasters?
I don't. I have the only Pixel remaster I bought was 2 and 6 on PC only.
You didn't just buy the whole pack, you weirdo?
No. So here was my thought process in the beginning. I thought if I bought them one at a time, I will finish them one at a time. It did not work.
You pay more that way, I think.
Yeah. Well, at least on Steam, you still get the discount. So like, since I bought the 2 games, if I go ahead and buy the bundle, it discounts the bundle since I already own
Mm.
Final Fantasy 2 and 6. So.
I don't know. Final Fantasy, I know I want all of them, so I just bought those
Mhm.
bundles as soon as they dropped. It's Final
Yeah.
Fantasy.
I have a lot of the RPGs. I bought them on Switch, and then I started rebuying them on Steam Deck, or Steam rather. So.
Mm.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all that we have for today. I appreciate everybody for joining us. We will be back Thursday. So Thursday is the new time for us. Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Pacific. So you can catch us doing the podcast every Thursday. Tomorrow we will have a group stream. It'll be me and Bryant doing Split Fiction. So come and hang out tomorrow and watch our first group stream in a while now. Been over a month. And next week I should continue with a video. My first video will be on the Nintendo Switch 2. Then hopefully going forward we should be back to a normal schedule and everything should be fine because the move is kind of over and I'm kind of
You're just
getting
setting
into
up
things.
now.
What was that?
Yeah.
You're just setting up.
Yeah, I still gotta put my lights and everything, but for the most part, it's better than what it was
It's moved.
before. Yeah, shout out to my wife because she's the one that's been mainly doing it while I'm at work. So she's the one that kind of set up everything and all that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
there's less boxes.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yep.
All right. Fam, where can they catch you at?
Yeah, and catch me at Phaneckswhy at all the socials.
Yeah.
Got it all.
What about you, Ash?
They can catch me at Asher Sharm on YouTube and everything. I might upload a video about the Switch 2 because I did tell people, hey, listen, I'm not going to talk about the Switch 2 until we actually get more information. So I'm like, oh, do.
What about you, Brian?
Thank you.
At Red So Deep on Blue Sky.
And as always, you can find me right here. I did forget to mention also next week I will start a solo stream. I don't know what day. Could be Monday, could be Tuesday, could be Wednesday. Could be a day that we don't do a podcast or a group stream. So be on the lookout for that. I
What
don't know
game
what I
you
was
doing?
gonna do. What was that?
I asked what game you were doing.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I might continue Sonic Unleashed. Path of Radiance, I'm gonna stop because now that it's coming to Nintendo Switch Online, I don't want to be in Nintendo's like crosshairs for that.
You're
So-
right. You're right.
So I was like, man, like I was having see again another game that I played, and now look here we're at. I was streaming it, and it's coming to Nintendo Switch Online. I think Nintendo does watch me. I'm serious. They're probably
think-
in this room right now watching me.
They're smart. The next thing they should do is like either release a remake or remaster for Radiant Dawn.
I hope so.
Because I
hope
mean,
so.
if we're gonna get a Wii part of NSO, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But at that point, just release a remaster or a remake for Radiant Dawn. There you go. Problem solved.
Wii NSO would be great, honestly, because
Yeah.
the Wii does have a lot of good games.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Radiant Dawn is one of them. Mario Galaxy 1, Mario Galaxy 2 that we still don't have
Lost Story.
yet. Last
Or
Story.
is it? Yeah, Last Story. Yeah.
Which I that won't come. If Lost Odyssey is not available on well, I mean technically it is available on Xbox, so maybe
Yeah.
Last Story could come. That's true.
Possibly. Who knows?
There's some other games that I can't think of on Wii right now.
Mad World.
Yeah, Mad World. That
It's a
would have to
platinum
be
joint.
Platinum. Yeah, I'm sure Platinum.
Otherwise, a lot of it's been re-released already. Like I don't think Wii is that strong, honestly. Galaxy 2, yes, for sure. There's no reason that wasn't in
No,
that 3D
we're-
classics
we're-
collection.
we're missing the best WiiWare game of all time, Pokemon Ranch.
There was also was it very popular back then was My Life as a King, Crystal Chronicles. Well, not a real Crystal Chronicles game, but it was like before tower defense games were popular, it was a tower defense game that
That was a very novel game, I remember.
yeah, a lot of people liked it, and they had sequels like My Life as the Dark Prince and so forth. Metro Prime 3 Corruption, actually, which I would think more than ever you would bring that back because Metro Prime 4 is right there, and Metro Prime 4 is literally the sequel to Metro Prime 3 because you have what's his name? What is his name? The blue guy that they showed is the main antagonist. I forgot what his name is. Is it Sayax? No, I feel like Sayax is from somewhere else. I forgot. He's the blue guy that you fight in Metro Prime 3. He's the main not protagonist, antagonist in Metro Prime 4. So you would think they would bring that back. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, I'll be streaming maybe Sonic Unleashed, if not something else. We'll figure it out and see where we go. Maybe Xenoblade Chronicles X. Maybe I'll stream that. Who knows? But yeah, thanks for watching. Thank you, fan. Thank you, Ash. Thank you, Brian. And we will catch you guys next time.